Hey y'all, welcome to Streaming Matters episode 59. Thanks for you guys watching. Let me open up my other window over here to see. I saw Phil and all you guys were jumped in here early. Donnie was jumped in here early. James was in there. Heavy Metal, Mandy, hey guys. Carl, who jumped in the chat here for just a few minutes with us and talked, and then he's on vacation. Thank you. Bogacino has jumped in here to chit chat with me. Should be seeing Blue in a bit, and a couple other people. I've sent links out that they said that they would come on. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what kind of topics we come up with. If you have questions, post them over there on the side, like I said before, and I'll do my best to answer those questions if I'm able to. Don't have all the answers, but I will do my best to answer them. If I don't answer them quickly, repost it. Sometimes we miss the questions if we're talking about a certain topic. So sometimes that may get missed. It's not that we're ignoring your question. It's just if we're in the middle of a topic, I try not to jump from one topic to the other, try to finish the topic before we move to the next one. So post it over there. We'll do my very best to answer those questions. And we'll just see what's going on in the streaming community, some items that's happened this week. Trying to get back on doing the show every week. I think I'm on a 4-week roll. I think 4 weeks in a row I think I've had a show. So thanks for everyone joining. Bass is jumped in the chat. Louise, Patty, hey guys. Totally Techno. Tim has jumped in there. Hey bud. Bogacino, what's going on with you lately? What's happening with you?
I just don't have much time to work in others project. Barely updates mine addons right now, and I didn't have much time lately. That's the reason I'm not in the chats, in the Telegram. I have my own chat right in Telegram. Luckily, I have some guys in the chat that help me out with and help other people inside the chat about my addons.
What about the 360 Sport 365 or 365 Sport? Is it still doing well? I know that's a very popular app.
Yes. Actually, yes. Maybe it's time to speak about it.
Okay.
At the beginning, I forked it, and now the addon has the ability to play back the streams with 3 methods. The one is with input stream, the other one is with a M4M tester player, and the other one is with using the Streamlink module.
Streamlink module.
Yeah, it's from Twilight repository.
Okay. After the show's over, if you would give me any of those links to that stuff, and I will post them into the show notes.
Actually, when you install the addon, install the modules automatically.
Okay.
Okay. So for the ones that they telling me in the Twitter or in the chat in Telegram that okay, the stream goes down after 4 minutes, after 5 minutes, after 6 minutes. The only thing that you have to do is to change the playback method in the settings, or use another link. Because for each event you get 6 links, so maybe the first one or the last one don't work well, so select the second or the third one. So that's the thing.
But then you said that you can try you get 3 different play options. So yeah. In the settings itself, you can choose which player, and so some players tend to have a timeout where it's is it checking for a token or something, and if the token's not there,
exactly. It's not about the token. It's mostly about the advertising that this website has, and actually, when you go to the website to see the event through the website, when you see the event, the stream, for example, after 1 minute or 2 minutes, it doesn't pop up the ads, the adverts. You see a video while you're streaming it.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it like overlay like
yes,
that?
exactly. It's an overlay the stream, and you see the ad for 10 seconds, and then restart the event. But in any case, in my computer, for example, if I use the stream link method, it works great. In the NVIDIA Shield, I'm using the input stream. It's better with input stream in the NVIDIA Shield. I don't have any Android box right now to check for other one, and at Windows, it works well with the F4M tester.
All right. Did you see? Izzy says that he said he just had trouble. He had a fresh install with Kodi, and he had a problem with Sport 365 installing today. The stream link dependency could not be met. We posted over there. I don't know.
That's really awkward or weird, because in my repository is linked the Twilight repository as a folder.
Okay.
So it will when you have a fresh Kodi and you only my repository inside, it will ask for the stream link through Twilight repository.
All right, hold on a second. Let me. I'm just gonna poke because I can install because I have your. Let's see, I've got your repository. Because I have it on my build. Actually, I found it to work really well in the past when for people wanting a free IPTV option that didn't want to pay for an IPTV option. That was it worked very well.
Yeah, actually has the main events of any sports, even tennis.
All right, so I'm going through there. Well, it looks to me as it is installing fine. Izzy, you might check, try to back out of Kodi and go back in. I just this was a fresh install. I actually installed the repository and then the Sports 365. It installed and the add-on is there. The add-on opens right up. And this is on Kodi 18. I don't know which version of Kodi that you might have. Maybe it's a different version of Kodi.
Okay. Probably the stream link has a Kodi version excluder. For example, it's only for 17 and 18, okay, not for Kodi 16. So probably if the user has Kodi 16, it doesn't work.
Right.
So that's all. What about the actually about the Sports 365. In my experience, the best thing to do when you select an event to see is to select the third link available, the third link, and use input stream.
It's been a.
I don't have many Android devices like Fire Sticks, right, or the other Chinese box to test with, but in NVIDIA Shield with input stream is great.
Yeah. Well, he was saying that it did install the second time, and that happens, folks. If you're installing add-ons, there are times where you'll install something in dependencies. All right. So for people that may be very new to Kodi, all right, a lot of Kodi add-ons have dependencies, and what that means is there's certain modules or certain applications, programs that have to be installed on your device to use that add-on. And sometimes if you install something, you'll see these things installing, and depending on the add-on and what it needs, sometimes it's extra stuff. And like they were saying that stream link was one of the dependencies, which means it has to have it. If you don't, you can't get all the dependencies an add-on won't install. So there is times where the add-on, normally the add-on has links. If you have repositories, it'll go and grab the dependencies from the different places it needs to. On occasion, it will reach out to a repository that is supposed to house that module script add-on, and it will fail. It doesn't get the file that it needs. So there is times where they'll do that. Most of the time, it'll cycle back around. You'll see it fail at the beginning, goes through, installs all the other stuff, and usually comes back around the other side at the end because it keeps trying. If you find that you install something and it fails, number one, make sure you have a repository that has the module, some of the modules in. Now, Bocchino's has all of that it needs, so it's not like you needed extra repositories. His has all it has it, or it directs it to where they are housed. So sometimes you may have to retry it or close Kodi, reopen Kodi. We call it the little gremlins, the gremlins in Kodi. Sometimes for whatever reason, it can't reach out to that repository and it doesn't go. On the occasion that people are using VPNs, or if you're in a country that has a lot of IP blocks, the UK is very famous for doing that. There is times where it can't reach certain servers because of your ISP blocking it. You may have to use a VPN at that time, or if you're using a VPN, you may need to configure it differently to make it to where it's able to get the information that it needs to get all this module. So glad it got sorted out, Izzy, but just FYI for people that you may see that happen on occasion. It happens. It's not a big deal. Try to reinstall it, back out. I know with certain add-ons, I know with people that had gens, or even Destiny, when people were using Destiny, you needed to have the gen repo because it had all the dependencies that you needed. The resolve URL and all-in-one Python all-in-one, or the one, it's Python all-in-one that it needed. But it's a handful of dependencies that if you didn't have the repositories, it couldn't install it. So that happens. So not to interrupt you, but you were saying now on your 365, I haven't used it in a long time. When you first made it, or when you first released it, I used it. I should have got some people last night to install this when they were complaining about
yes, and actually now I put news and updates.
Yeah.
And it pop-ups in window that you can find all available links about GitHub, about Telegram, about my donations, and other stuff.
Is it all right if I show this? If I show your?
Yeah, okay? Sure.
Okay. All right. Let me just show this, folks, and I'll put this on me. Okay. And this is the 365, Sport 365. And this is what he's talking about, the news and updates that he's added in there. Telegram link, Build-to-Brid link, donation link, Twitter link, GitHub, all that.
And disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yeah.
If you click, for example, the news and updates, yes, you will see.
Yeah. Okay.
All the latest changelog and
Devil Sport. I've never heard that. I haven't heard that name before. little backwards on Sports Devil.
Probably.
Because when I first saw it, Sports Devil, I'm like, wait, no, it didn't say. So let's see.
And we have two domains. That's the main domain, and the alternative domain is for people that maybe they can't reach the first one.
All right, and like you're saying, you got 6 links. That's
yeah.
Cool. I'll have to close this quick so I don't get dinged.
Now it's working with Streamlink because the default is Streamlink.
Open right up. So that's the default Streamlink. Yeah, because I didn't do anything.
Yeah, by default is.
There you go. This is the. I went into the settings, folks. So that's what he was talking about. You have the option of which one.
Yeah, if you select input stream and you don't, you can install it. For example, click input stream, and now click here that says enable input stream adaptive and RTMP.
You said click it or don't click it.
Click it.
Okay, so all right, so it has all right. So this is an added module or add-on that it needs.
Yes, and enable input stream, and now you're okay.
I was waiting to see if it popped up over here that it installed, but I didn't see that. Oh, there it is. And so this is just it. So I've never used input stream. So is this just a different player? Is it a different? Is it is different?
The input stream is from a Kodi officially repository.
Okay.
We had it also in Kodi 17.
Look like I got a little bit. All right. And if anybody that's watching this, a lot of times when I'm streaming a live show, you'll find that the things run a little slower than if you're at home. You'll find that it'll install and stuff will run quicker.
Oh, so today it starts the Copa.
Yeah, I saw the U.S. Open. I click on. Okay, and got rugby.
Oh, first time I see that. That has Greek commentary for Brazil Bolivia.
Oh. So it's in. You got Dutch, French, Greek, Hebrew, Russian.
Yes, that's the commentary language.
Yeah, nice. And then tonight, Bellator. So
of course,
people that may want to watch Bellator and you don't have a service for that, here you go. It looks like it's going to be in standard. Now, does this automatically update on its own and all that?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Automated. Nice. Then you don't have to be worrying about it.
So to explain something, when you see the green dot means that the event is live and you can stream it. If you see red means that it's not start yet, so you can't stream it.
Okay, so yeah, the green dots means it's on live right now. Red, the red star, it's not air. Nice. So it's an option. I know I get asked every single week about what's the best IPTV free service, to add on. So yeah, if you guys check this out, I will definitely put the repo in the show notes. Unless I don't know if Bocchino wants to post it into the chat, which is fine if he wants to do that. But I definitely will put it in the show notes so that you'll be able to check that out. And yeah, it looks that it's. Like I said, I get asked every single week about a good free to watch whatever sport. I had people last night, and I brain farted about Sports 365. I should have thought about that last night, but I ended up finding Sports Devil. I actually found a link for them on Sports Devil, and it's the I just had to poke around and poke, and I haven't opened up Sports Devil in I don't know, year and a half.
I'm not sure if it's okay to say it publicly about another add-on.
Nice.
But I think if there is in many blogs about the Kodi add-ons, and it's called the Sportsova.
Sports what?
Sportsova. I think it's Polish.
All right.
I will write it in your chat.
Okay. I've not heard of that one.
Sportsova TV. And actually, inside that add-on, they put the Sports 365 with my code and mention me also, giving me credit for
Right.
that. But Sports Over TV is like the new Sports Devil
Okay.
because it has also other websites for events and links.
All right. I'll look to see
Do you want me to find a website,
if you have
a
a link.
blog?
If you have
Yeah.
a link for it, you can post it. That's fine with that. I mean, we're not going to be doing a video on the add-on, but
Do you have any favorite blog that you want to advertise?
favorite what?
If you have a website that you want to promote,
No.
okay. So we can use, for example, Kodi tips.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
or-
yeah. I don't have no favorite. I mean, I look at. I actually look at Kodi tips at times. I will look at Kodi apps. I look at.
okay.
I use different sites to get different information on. I use an ad block. I use an ad blocker. So, not that it doesn't really matter to me. Let me ask a question. I know that people have been asking. Well, let me roll back to. Well, while you found that. Hold on a second. Oh, where'd it go? So you got the one for Kodi tips. Okay. Thank you, Troop and JJ Goat Cord Cutters for posting those links. This is the link that he was talking about that goes to the Sportsova. Wow. Sportova. But it looks interesting. Check it out if you're looking. Like I said, I get asked every single week about what's a good one. And just like yesterday, the NBA game was on last night between Toronto and.
What a game! What a game!
Yeah, I was pulling for the Raptors, and
Of course.
and my neighbor who loves Golden State, he was up here. Charles was up here, and we were watching the game together. And he was yelling about how bad the refs were because they weren't calling the fouls.
No, the refs were great for Golden State, but the Golden State team was unlucky losing also the
Klay Thompson.
Thompson, yeah.
Klay
was great, and ready to take the game by his own.
Yeah. He was really, and when he came down, it wasn't a dirty play. I mean, it was just a normal foul, wasn't a flagrant foul or anything. But when he came down on one leg with his body kind of twisted, and it ended up being, I don't know if you saw it. It was he tore his Achilles. So you think about this. You had KD the game before tore his Achilles. He tore his Achilles in that game, and then Klay Thompson tore his Achilles last night. So 2 games in a row, you lose two of the top players, two of your 3 top players on your team.
Exactly.
In a row, you lost them. I don't know what Golden State's going to do next year. I mean, they were already going to struggle a little bit when you're losing KD, because KD was leaving. I mean, that was pretty. It was a pretty good deal, or pretty solid deal that he was planning on leaving. And so he was already going to leave. He gets hurt. All right, you're already kind of accepted that he wasn't going to be with the team next year. But you had Klay and you had Curry.
I think next year will be the Bucks.
You think the Bucks? Yeah, the Bucks.
Giannis Antetokounmpo going to have another teammate to take the team to the finals.
Yeah, the Bucks. I really would have thought early when the playoffs first started, the Bucks for the East I would have thought they were going.
Yeah,
But
the problem with the Bucks,
Toronto's
is that their team,
Mhm.
for one player, and Giannis can't be in the court all the time.
Yeah.
So they need the backup or a teammate
Yeah.
to get the whole season.
They're gonna have to. Hopefully, they're able. We'll see if they can draft them. And this offseason is going to be wild for free agents and who's going where. And then with KD going out, that completely twisted up because people were talking about New York or Brooklyn, or possibly the Clippers, or possibly LA stacking up with some teams. And now KD's not going. Well, not to say KD could very easily sign. I do think he'll sign with another team. He would just sign a multi-year deal. He'll sign, like I say, let's say a 3-year deal, because he knows he's already going to be out a year to a year plus. So he's already going to lose that. So if someone signs him to say 3 years, they're going to be like, all right, well, we're going to have him at least 1.5 to 2 good years if we build around him, because he's a phenomenal player. And I really hated to see Clay go out. Just a good guy. I mean, he's very unselfish. That's the thing I liked about Golden State, though. Very unselfish team. I mean, the passing, it reminds me of college ball, where they're taking the extra pass or even 2 or 3 extra passes before they make a shot, like college does, instead of doing like most NBA teams, where we're going to isolate and one player is just going to try to take somebody off the dribble and take it to the basket, or take it all the way to the basket and pitch it out for someone to make a 3-point. And that's what they do over and over and over, unless it's a fast break. And just, I like team ball. I like to watch it move around. I like to see. So we'll see, but it's going to be interesting. You see now that everyone's posting there. You got we don't want a broken KD in New York. Culture Trini says they don't want a broken KD in New York. But I'm telling you, give KD a year, and you don't know what he might be once he comes back. But yeah. Diesel, who is from Canada, he's happy. Canada won a championship, and who the guy that was with Toronto, Iladaga. How do you say his name? But he did. It was a really great game. I'll be honest, a whole lot better series than everybody put it out to be. Everyone was thinking that it was going to be 4 and done or 5 and done, and it was going to be Golden State's championship. And look what happened. So, SS, I will post the link to Bogacino's repo in the show notes, unless I get a second and I'm able to pull that out, and I'll post it in the room here. But if you probably go on to the Kodi Apps website and go to Sports 365, Kodi Apps does a really good job about posting the repos in there. So let's see. Jim says he would take a broken KD over anyone in New York, because New York has nobody. New York, I mean, come on now. The Knicks, they're just. I mean, they are so broken. They are so broken, and they got their feelings hurt when they didn't get the number 1 pick, because they wanted Zion. Zion's most likely going to Pelicans. So, and we're going to see who else goes, because to be honest, I think that Zion is going to, not that he's going to take you and make you at your championship right out of the gate, but he is a name that's going to put people in the seats. So we'll just have to see how that all goes. But good game last night, folks. If you guys go back and watch it.
So, do you have the updates about the injury of Klay Thompson?
I heard that it was a torn Achilles.
No, actually, he says it's a torn left anterior cruciate ligament.
Would that be an ACL?
Yeah, ACL.
Yeah. All right, so it's not Achilles. Maybe an ACL.
So that means because I had the same injury when I was playing football in Greece, and I was 20 years old.
Last week.
It took me 6 months to walk without any professional care. See, so I think he could be playing again in 3-4 months.
Yeah, it's still going to be tough. I mean, the thing
It's
about
really tough. It's really tough, and but because he will do the surgery right away, I suppose probably in a week he has to make the surgery or tomorrow.
yeah,
Um, the recovery is faster when you do the surgery fast.
yeah. And as you said, he's going to be getting the best care.
Exactly.
he's not
Exactly.
he's not going to see just a regular doctor that'll squeeze you in when he can. I mean, he's going to be seeing the best doctors. The team is going to be taking care of him. So yeah, okay, so that's not as bad. I thought it was an Achilles. So ACL will not be as bad. But the thing about it, when you have an injury like that you are so nervous, players are so nervous of re-injuring it that it's in the back of your mind. So well, let's see how that all goes. But
Good luck to him and fast recovery. All that matters.
yeah, it is, and it's they're athletes. I don't want to say they're just entertainers, but it is entertainment for us to watch. And you hate to see these people get hurt during a game while we're all watching. So
And believe me, it's worse for them.
yeah,
Because I was in his place and I know what it is. It's okay. I don't know how it's to die, but you get all those images until this time that you get hurt about playing football, your teammates, your team, your goals, your everything. You said, "Oh my God, not now."
yeah.
Why me?
Yeah. Well, you think about the weight on him and KD both. Think of the weight on their shoulders to get hurt during a game, and KD hurt through a lot of the playoffs.
And it was a game it wasn't it was a final.
Yeah.
That
And it's
matters.
like right at the end, and you're like, and they needed him, they needed Clay, but injuries are part of the game. Injuries are part of any kind of sports. So, I know people say, well, if we didn't lose so-and-so, we'd have been, well, you know what? Yeah. And if frogs had wings, they wouldn't bump their ass when they jump. I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, it's just injuries are part of all the sports. That's going to happen. So it is what it is. You hate to see it, but it's part of it. And me and Charles had lunch today, and he said, well, but they were grabbing a hold of Curry when they were pulling him there at the end, right at the end when he got a shot. They were pulling, and yes, and he says, "Don't you think they feel guilty? And does it really taint their win?" I'm like, no. I mean, because when they pull up the newspaper, it's going to say Toronto won. It's not going to say Toronto won, but they got away with some fouls. That doesn't matter. They won. It's on the paper. Done. Complete.
The history is written.
It doesn't matter. He won. People will say, well, but he won by a little bit. It doesn't matter. A win is a win. It's in the win column. Doesn't matter. That's what goes into the history books. Nobody has a little asterisk beside it.
Exactly.
So, hey, it's sports. I'm not a big pro basketball guy, but when it gets down to the playoffs, I tend to watch a little bit more. I love college basketball, but pro, can take it or leave it. During the regular season, I usually leave it. Playoffs, I tend to watch a little closer. So, hey, we saw Shrinking Sharon. Thanks for joining there. Wendy's jumped in there. Ebony. So I got a bunch of the people from, looks like One Nation. Thanks for you guys jumping in there. Who did I say? Tony's jumped in there. Any of you guys that are in my Telegram group, if you would like to join the panel, send me a message and I will give you a link. So, all right, I've seen. I don't know if you saw that, Bogacino, the comments, and I know that whenever we start talking about something, and I try to beat on one subject and move to the next one, that everybody's wanting you to talk about another subject. So we had the subject of Supremacy leaving Kodi. And yes, he closed his repository, meaning that his add-on is done. He said, thank you. It's been a joy. I have not spoke to him personally. I've spoke to him. He's actually was on one of my shows one time just for maybe 30 minutes or so. We talked. But I didn't reach out to him to go bother him. Oh, why? Give me all the details, because that's his own personal. If he'd wanted to post all that stuff of why he's leaving the scene, he would have posted it. So there's no, for me, I didn't feel any need to reach out and to give me that inside news, because guess what? It don't matter. He left for whatever reasons, be it that he left because it's too much hassle. It's not any fun anymore. He got a letter, he got warned, or he got scared, or his wife says, I'm tired of you being on the computer all the time, whatever the case is. It could be any of those, or it could be something else. But he said, thank you for enjoying the add-on. He appreciated being in the community, and he left. Bocacino probably has an idea when people have no concept of what it means to keep an add-on going. To create an add-on is really more times than not. It's fun, exciting. It's just fun. To keep an add-on going is a pain in the ass. It becomes a ton of work. It becomes very thankless job. All you tend to hear is bad comments, complaints. This is broke. That's broke.
That's sorry to
No,
interrupt.
go ahead. Go ahead. You
Those
understand.
3 last words you said, they are the most important to a developer.
Yeah.
In my case, I get, I lose my mind sometimes when I'm getting messages, private messages in Twitter, and or about complaints and all this stuff, and why it doesn't work, why is that, and okay, I can understand that people, they don't know about how an addon works. I can understand that they don't know what is the for example, the Sports 365 addon. Okay, they send me messages about, okay, can you put this link about this event, can you put this one, can you put that one? Okay, if you go and read the disclaimer of the addon, you can understand that the developer doesn't host or doesn't manage the links or the streams.
It's an automated system that is scraping a website, which means it's searching a website. It grabs the sport event and then grabs the links. So as he's saying, he's not putting all these links. He's not going there and adding all this. It's got to be posted on a website. The script looks, scans, scrapes, however you want to say it, grab all that information and it posts it or displays it in the add-on, right?
Exactly. Nemzi, mate, I see you in the chat. How are you? How is going?
Yeah.
Exactly. Nemzi said that 19% of the comments, they are complaints.
Yeah. And and I can't, I've never wrote a thing. I was part of Bob. We were part of doing different stuff. I've helped on gens and different items. It can be very disheartening. And Supremacy's been around a long time. I mean, I want to say off the top of my head, and this, I'm not researching it, I'd have to say 2.5 to 3 years, I would think he's been around in Kodi. It's been a long time.
It has.
He's not somebody that's just jumped in. Hello, Blue.
Hello, honey.
Hi, Blue.
Hello, sweets.
He's not. And people don't understand the direct links and all that stuff. That's not scraping a website when you do direct links. You have to go and find those for this and post them. It is a pain in the butt, and it becomes very monotonous.
It's old school Kodi, and it sucks balls.
Yes, it does. And people complain about scraper addons, but people don't understand how much work it goes into it. So my hat goes off to Supremacy. My hat goes off to the work that he did for so long. The Yoda add-on, it's done. Unless somebody comes along, which it's an Exodus fork, so there's other options.
About Yoda, still
Yes.
working,
Well, yes,
Exodus worked
yes,
before because this add-on used scrappers. So
yeah,
as far the scrappers are working, you will get results.
yes. You won't be able to. His repository is gone, so you can't. If you won't be able to go and get Yoda from his repository because it's gone. But if you have Yoda installed, yes, it will continue to work. Over time, just like Exodus or any of the other Exodus forks, they slowly things break over time, and little bits break and bits break, and nobody fixes them. So that will happen. So if you have Yoda, yes, it will still work. It's not gonna stop working tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that Supremacy probably doesn't work because I would think that that was calling to a server and was probably reading a main XML somewhere.
Exactly.
I would think.
Yeah, and if you close the server, it's done like dinner.
Yeah. So I would think that's how it. So again, why he quit, I don't know. But he has.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Maybe he's tired. Maybe tired. He bored all the situation and all the stuff.
See, yeah, that was the funny thing about like the second Supremacy went down. People were like, "Oh my God, what happened? Did he get a letter? Did he get a?" It doesn't matter. There's a reason why he had to get out. Either his wife was ready to kill him.
Yeah, and we have to respect his decision.
Yeah, family before Kodi. No offense.
Exactly.
When you get a divorce over whether or not you're going to add a couple of lines of code to an add-on every couple of days, yeah, it's not worth it.
Unless you're planning on and you want an excuse to get divorced.
But coding in general, Kodi is like a virus.
Yeah.
You can get the medicine now, but maybe in 2-3 months you get it again.
You know what's funny is I was saying to somebody yesterday, and did you talk about Destiny already, Todd?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, the thing is, okay, so really good devs come along, and then sometimes really good devs have to go away, whether or not it's letters or family or whatever. But it's funny because a lot of times when it's not a letter, when it's just something like your family, the good thing about devs and the bad thing about devs is the exact same thing, is they're all or nothing. They can't walk away and just say, "Oh, I'll come check back in a week and work on it." They're 100% in, or they got to get 100% out. I find the problem with it's not, and the blessing with really good devs is that they don't know how to do things half measures. They either are 100% in on an add-on, and like every day they're constantly, every free second they're looking for fixes and this and that and everything, or they're not. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like it's a wonderful thing about great devs is that they're constantly monitoring, they're constantly changing things and fixing things, but at the same time they don't know how to just relax.
Yeah.
Know how to like sit back and let the add-on coast for a while and then come in. It's either all or nothing.
Right. It is. But well, and I mean, I think about when
the main problem. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
The main problem with the users when a developer quit, his add-ons, is that most of the users, they use them through a build.
True.
So the build doesn't, but the build gives you other options. Other add-ons too for the same category. And we have Nemesis.
Mm-hmm. I same link.
Yeah. So yes, users have to understand that when a developer quits for his own reasons, we move on and we will start using another add-on.
Yeah, respect that. It doesn't matter why.
For example, Supremacy all-in-one add-on was great. There are so many others all-in-one add-ons that great too, and we have to adjust our options to dev's decision. That's
Yep.
all.
Yep. And that's the thing about Kodi is if you're not flexible and if you can't adapt as things move along, if you're a person that's using Kodi and you can't adapt, you will not like Kodi, because the one constant about Kodi is that it's always changing.
Exactly.
The people that are in it or the add-ons that are out there, they are constantly changing. And like Bogachino's saying, most builds have multiple options, and you know what, you thank the guy that worked on it, you thank his hard work, and then you just have to move on to other projects, not dwell. And again,
we've been around, Todd? We've been around long enough to see so many add-ons come and go.
Yeah.
Devastated, and they're like, oh my God, Kodi's gonna die, and somebody else always comes along. And sometimes it's the same person that made that on, maybe under another name.
Sometimes. Yeah.
No, but it's like it's always evolving, it's always changing. It sucks, and it sucks for them, especially if it's legal shit. It makes me feel horrible for them. But at the same token, is Kodi gonna die? No, it's not.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It just happens. Nimsy, thanks for jumping in here.
Evening.
Thanks for jumping in. I sent you a link. Yep. Yeah, you're a little bit quiet.
Yeah, I'm having to use my laptop mic. I haven't got my headphones out. They're upstairs and daughter's asleep, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
Whispering? So what's going on? Are you having a good day?
I'm not whispering. I just think it's me laptop mic doesn't. I've got to adjust the sensitivity, otherwise you'll pick up my TV and.
Honey, I'm just messing with you, but I am whispering right now because it's adorable.
Nemesis, for example, has a great all-in-one add-on.
Yep.
Okay, probably it's asked for a pin code, I suppose, but it's nice.
It is pinned, but I have removed the pop-ups. Have been removed for quite some time now, so it's pretty much like UK Turk pin now. It's really simple to get a pin, and you don't get Russian porn star pop-ups.
But didn't you extend the time on that?
No, I gave people the option. I said, what would they prefer? Do they prefer the pins last 24 hours, or do they prefer the pop-ups to go? And people said they preferred the pop-ups to go.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, XXX does as well. It's 4 hours, and I mean, like, you know, XXX does has it as well. And I mean, if you're having a 4-hour wank, then you've probably got more to worry about than a pin expiring. I think something's going to be a bit sore at the end of it. So, you know, I think 4 hours is. You've got, because of it does generate a lot of pins, so you've got to play it. You know, if you have lots of pins, then you're going to start filling up your database, and then your server's going to start running slow and stuff like that. So people seem happy with 4 hours. I think they were more concerned, like I said, about the pop-ups. So we got rid of them.
I can understand the pop-ups, because you were getting at one point, you were getting all kinds of different ones. So, and I remember, wasn't it, you get even on your regular one, you were getting porn pop-ups, and you were trying to.
Yeah, the problem is it was a legit advertisement. I was using Adiesta. If you Google them, they're like one of the competitors to Google AdSense for people that maybe don't get approved by AdSense. But, you know, like any advertisement company, they have strict rules. They're a massive company. They're not out there to do damage, but, you know, sometimes bad stuff gets through, or that are not meant to be getting shown get through, and obviously they don't get reported. Until they get reported, they don't get removed. And obviously I was, you know, constantly complaining, saying, look, you need to remove this ad will loop a browser, it's not acceptable. And in the end it was just like, you know what, it's got Google ads running anyway, so I just killed the Adiesta off. It weren't worth it anymore.
I can understand. And you know, those kind of things, again, Kodi has so many options, and if you don't like one add-on, or you don't, there's so many.
Exactly. If you don't like to generate a pin, then generate a pin. I'm not going to lose sleep tonight if you're not using one of my add-ons.
That's why
I think Nemesis is probably Nemesis, which is obviously the rebrand of Stream Army. I mean, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the oldest add-ons out there, next to UK Turks.
Turks, I would think, yeah. You and
Turks is older
Nowadays,
than
definitely, yeah.
Turks is older than me, but Nemesis Stream Army's been going ever since I learned to code. Back from obviously once I left Evolve.
Yep.
So it is, it's got loads of stuff in it. It has all the live sports, the MMA, the football. Again, it all uses scrapers, similar. So actually, some of the basketball and all that is playlisted by a playlister that's part of the team. So I don't follow American sports, so I don't know how good they are. But normally, the people that use the add-on do say that they're excellent. So, it uses obviously its own multi-scrapers for movies and TV shows. It's got radio in it, music, documentary. There's loads in it, but again, it's a Marmite thing. You either don't mind taking 10 seconds of your time, because I've spent fucking hours and hours and hours of my time coding it. If you can't take 10 seconds of your time to make a pin, then fine, use something else. I'm still going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I
Nothing wrong with that.
don't think people understand how much time goes into the add-ons.
Oh, so much. Especially, I'm doing a new GUI one, Flex, at the moment, and it's just I wouldn't like to think the amount of hours that I've already spent on it, especially GUI as well. GUI is a real pain in the ass, because if something's wrong, most add-ons, when you code in a Kodi add-on, you do something wrong, it'll give you an error. You look in the log, you see where you fucked up, you can fix it. GUI doesn't. GUI just says, fuck off, I'm not working. Figure out how you're going to fix me. And that's it. There's nothing in the log. You've just got to look through all the kind of thing. What have I done wrong here?
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun.
Oh, it's not. But it's obviously the add-on then, at the end of it, it looks nice. So I do mess with GUI sometimes, but I haven't done a GUI add-on publicly for quite a while. But I always, I'm a massive user of Plex myself anyway, and I always thought, I'm going to make an add-on that's similar to Plex for Kodi. It's like it's basically like a fake Plex. It won't come, it won't auto pull shows or anything for you on the top movies. You basically load it up. I've given it sort of a Plex feel. You add your movies, you add your TV shows that you watch, and then it'll monitor. It will also, for your TV series, it's going to monitor them. So then it will alert you. Once you boot Kodi, it'll alert you if there's a new episode of your show to watch and all that. So it's just, like I said, a play on Plex. So it's an option.
And that's the Nemesis add-on?
No, this is Flex, the GUI. Yeah, I tweeted some videos about it the other day. To be fair, I did activate tweet delete on my account yesterday, but I did tweet a video out of it the other day. I can briefly show it you if you want. I'll share my screen in a bit.
I missed that video. I didn't see anything about that.
Hang on, let me clean my desktop up quickly.
Oh, yeah, clean
before I go sharing my screen and see
clean the desktop, because we know that I keep mine nice and neat. Anybody that's looked at my screen, they're like, "What the hell, Debs? You got all kinds of crap on there."
Yeah, well, no, mine's got nothing on it like incriminating or stuff.
No, mine just has clutter.
Yeah, mine is, especially when I'm developing an add-on. If you see my desktop, it's terrible because I've got bits of bobs everywhere, and then once I finish the add-on, I end up going on a mass delete spree. I've got to remember how to share screen now.
It should be over to the left.
Yeah, I'm just closing me WhatsApp because my wife keeps messaging me rugs.
Uh-oh.
So yeah,
She
can't make her mind up. I've been sent about 50 different options so far, so I'm just ignoring her until she makes her mind up. No, where the frig is this? Hang on. Is it Hangout toolbar?
Oh no! On this window that we have right here, look on the left-hand side. You'll see a little green monitor on this screen that we're on.
Yeah, no, I'm looking in the Hangouts one. I haven't got it.
It should be over on that left-hand side.
Oh, hang on. Screen share. There you go.
Yeah.
Your entire screen.
Yeah, because you can't share just Kodi. It won't. I know mine won't do it.
Can you see me screen now?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a handsome fellow right there. All right.
So, hang on, let's come out of that. I've already added a film to it. So what I'll do, because I haven't actually sorted the delete function out yet. Was going to do it tonight, but then I ended up getting into an argument on Twitter with some bonker and never got around to it. So, but yeah, you use Flex, don't you? Plex.
I use it, and then Blue has a server that
I think I converted. I got you onto it, didn't I, Blue? Was it that last time we were having that chat, and you then decided to go and install it?
I think it was about that time because you talked about it, and then found out about that, and found out about
radar and sonar and all the fun stuff.
It's bloody awesome, isn't it? So,
oh my god,
yeah,
I wouldn't be without it now.
This is Flex, so obviously it's a GY. I'm going to have two themes. I did have it originally red, but it's now grey because someone you can pick either the red or grey theme. I haven't finished fully filming it.
In other words, okay, honey, what you're saying is you need me to have a look at this and do a little artwork for you. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, what's wrong with what? To be fair, I'm no good with artwork. Give me the code.
I'm fantastic with it. Just hit me up.
So, but obviously, when you first open it, it'll open the movies by default. Bearing in mind, this is very alpha. I'm nowhere near finished coding on it. But so, like you say, you would add a movie that you want, obviously, to add to your library. I haven't sorted the top shows. It uses TMDB, so obviously, it'll pull all the results. Say for Top Gun that I searched.
Cool.
So then, obviously, you can come up and then bring your viewer. So, I mean, for now, you just add the movie. And then it'll be added to your library. So then when you first come into it, there it is. Takes up obviously the first one. Pick it. Obviously load up. You can watch. Obviously it's pulling everything from TMDB, so you get the rate and the movie length, trailers, and then obviously you can do the findings. At the moment, I've just got it running the one scraper. I'm going to use it, have it with multi scrapers, and then obviously it'll pull up all the links then for the film that you can play it.
So you're manually adding in the movies.
Yeah, it's basically like Plex.
Yeah.
You add the stuff to your server. I haven't sorted out the TV shows yet, but the TV shows
You're
again.
not actually downloading it. You're just you're using scrapers to stream it.
Yes, and like I said, it's gonna act like Plex. So the next time you add your TV show, say your next episode airs tomorrow, when you boot up Kodi, it's got a service that will run in the background and it'll automatically monitor your TV shows for you. And as soon as a new episode is available, it'll tell you. So I think I've got the monitor turned off at the moment. Yeah. So, but basically when I boot Kodi up, the monitor will just pop up telling me it's running. So, yeah, it'll monitor your TV shows for you. And then you'll just get like a notification along the top, basically telling you that, I don't know, say if you watch Breaking Bad, okay, it's finished, but if a new episode aired, it'll come up Breaking Bad season 6, episode 2 is now aired. So then you can go into it and watch it, and the links will be there.
Nice. So a Kodi Plex kind of thing where you're able to add your own shows, TV, but then it uses the scrapers. You're not actually downloading. It uses the scrapers. So
yeah.
Good idea.
And as you saw, I don't know if you briefly saw in settings, but obviously as well, it'll include torrents, but you can turn them off. I know some people worry about torrents.
Is it going to be linked into Real Debrid or any of the premium services?
Yeah. It will obviously with the scrapers. It will obviously use Resolve URL. So your Real Debrid will work in that. But it will, like I said, it saves all your stuff to your local library, and then what I still have got to do is the delete button. So I can click on Top Gun now and then select delete, and it will remove it from your library.
Right.
A lot more work to do. I mean, this what you've just seen now has probably taken me the best part of, I'd say, 100 hours, and that's not taking the piss. So, it is so much work to do, but it's fun. And even if no one uses it, I don't give a shit because I've made it for me, and it helps me hone my skills on doing what I like doing.
Yeah, and you did have a question that someone says, is it going to use a PIN code to activate it too? Because I saw that was in the settings.
That was just the default. The monitor won't. However, I think what I will do is I will have a pin code, but probably I think maybe one that lasts longer on that, because the monitor won't, because obviously the monitor's constantly going to run. So the last thing you need every 4 hours is it popping up saying, "Oh, your pin's expired. I'm not monitoring anymore." So the monitor will not need a pin at all. But then, yeah, you probably find I will stick a pin on actually using it. But again, it'll be the same system with no pop-ups or anything. So again, use it if you want to. Don't use it if you don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's cool. We'll have to look forward to that. I will put Nimsy's Twitter in the. If you want to put.
Yeah, I need to do tweet delete again, because, like I said, I spent the best part of the evening arguing with some pillock.
Yeah. We were going to talk about some of that kind of stuff, especially with Supremacy leaving, and it just brings up some of the questions that I had about some of the stuff. So, but I will post Nimsy, if you want to post, if you want your repo in the side chat, you can over where the regular chat. If not, I can put it in the show notes. I'll put any of his Twitter stuff if he wants it out there. I usually try not to post unless people want it out there. But one of the things that Nimsy had messaged me earlier about, and I hadn't even noticed it, and he was there was another all-in-one repo that has popped up, and it made me think of, because I actually asked the question when Supremacy closed up, was did he have a GitHub account? And because that was my first question, because we have seen numerous times that when somebody closes their GitHub account because they're leaving Kodi, their TVA or someone working under the guise of TVA, however you want to say it, because TVA says they don't do it, but for some reason, somebody creates, like, let's say when, what was it, Blammo, when he closed up, and 13 Clowns, it happened. As soon as they closed their GitHub account, the new one was created, and what created a TVA created, or someone created it for a TVA to embed Indigo in a bunch of
auto-installed Indigo everywhere. That was the problem. TVA said no, but who else would do that? What would be the point of anybody else auto-installing TVA?
That's absolute bullshit as well. That TVA, like, oh no, we're innocent. We did that. Oh yeah, of course, because someone's taken all that time to install your shit on everyone's devices because they think it's funny. Come on, pull the other leg. It's got bells on.
Because I'll explain kind of for people that may not have any idea when we're talking about hijacking of a repo, and let me explain a little bit of how that works. Okay, let's say you have, let's say 13 Clowns. This happened with 13 Clowns. 13 Clowns Addon, his repo or his repositories on GitHub and all that stuff. 13 Clowns says, I'm done. He quit. So he left the scene, okay? Closed his GitHub account, closed his stuff. He posted everywhere. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Within a day, somebody went in and created another account under GitHub for the exact same name for the exact same repository. So everything was the exact same name as a repository, 13 Clowns, whatever. And then put TVA items in there, Indigo, this and that. And then made it to where if you had 13 Clowns add-on, that all of a sudden if it had an update for 13 Clowns add-on, and 13 Clowns add-on, it had a dependency that you needed to install a couple other add-ons, including one of them being the Exodus fork, the old Exodus fork.
Exodus, was it Exodus Redux?
No, Exodus. It was just Exodus. And then it installed Indigo. So every time when you booted up Kodi, Indigo would open as the very first thing. Hey, come to us, donate, click on this VPN, da-da-da-da-da. So what people are doing is when a GitHub closes, TVA creates an exact name, and anyone that has that 13 Clowns repo gets the update. So let's say you thought 13 Clowns was a great add-on. You didn't know it closed, okay? So you didn't know, and then all of a sudden, all of that TVA stuff installed on top of your device without you being notified, because most people have their updates to auto update.
okay, the best part about that is when that went out there and people are like, oh my God, TV add-ons just hijacked somebody's repo. TV add-ons came out and said, no, we didn't. Somebody else must have done that to make us look bad. Okay, but that's happened like 4 times now to 4 different repos. And the only person that benefits from it is TV add-ons.
Right.
Some random guy throwing them in there.
Yes, and I know Dave, he backs them that there's no proof. There is no proof. Do we have a smoking gun? I'm not filing the IP. No.
Why the fuck would you put Indigo in there? I'm sorry, but why the fuck would you put
it doesn't make any sense why anybody else would have such an axe to grind to go after and do this to try to make TVA look bad. Well, because what it does is it drives traffic to Indigo, and Indigo is an advertisement. The very first thing
Todd, that's
VPN, wasn't it?
If you thought you were hurting TVA, you're a fucking moron, because now you just gave them more traffic.
Yeah, it's about the traffic and about that you sign up with IP Vanish or with a pin, whatever. Again, it's about driving traffic to a website and services. Can you prove it? No. But when things happen several times over and over and over, who benefits and who's hurt in it?
Yeah.
TVA's not hurt in it. The TVA, they don't care about their.
We're not talking about Exodus. Fuck Exodus.
No, but I was just saying. No, but my point.
No, I just saw Dave's comment, and Dave. Okay, when Indigo shows up in every single GitHub repo that's gone down, yeah, I think that is proof. I'm sorry, dude, but some random dude is doing that for fun. Why? There's no benefit. TVA has no more fans anymore because you know what? Nobody gives a shit about them anymore.
They're irrelevant.
And it was the thing that as soon as Indigo installed,
you know what? You might be a fan of them, Dave. Get the fuck over it, dude. Seriously, they're gone. They're
TVA is the current 1x bet of the Kodi community. Just saying.
Yeah, it was literally just advertising their VPN, weren't it? As soon as it installed
itself. As soon as it pops up. And I mean, again, that's what I was saying. What's the benefit? Who has what to gain? I don't have proof, but I can say who's to gain. When Indigo opens, the first thing you see is sign up for IP Vanish. Here's the website. Here's our website. Come to get whatever.
We're not talking about Exodus. We're talking about Indigo.
It's
Indigo
driving
TVA.
No, but one of the, I think it was when Placenta closed, it installed Exodus and it installed Indigo, and it was a pain in the butt for a newbie user to get rid of it because you couldn't just uninstall Indigo and you couldn't just uninstall Exodus. You had to uninstall. There was a script first that you had to uninstall. Then you had to uninstall Placenta. Then you had to uninstall Exodus. Then you could install Indigo. It was a domino effect. You couldn't do it out of order. So an average newbie user could not figure that out. It would be like, I tried to uninstall Indigo. It won't. It says there's a dependency that needs me. Try to uninstall Exodus, which was installed at the time. Couldn't do it because a dependency. Now, could I figure it? Could you figure it? Yes. But could a normal user could not figure that out? Who's to benefit? Nobody has proof, but I can say, you know what? I've got proof because it just seems obvious. And who's to gain beneficially through money or traffic?
And it's always the big add-ons. It's always like Placenta, and it's all the big ones that had huge millions of people using it that all of a sudden Indigo's popping up on their boxes all of a sudden when their repos go down. So what do you?
I'll just explain to Dave. I know Dave. I can understand the logic in Fanorific's argument where he's basically saying, well, why would they put Exodus in? That's against their court order. But like I just said to him, it's a classic rope-a-dope. You put that in because then you can plausible deniability, or we wouldn't do it because that's against our court order. Because we're advertising our VPNs.
That's exactly right.
And again, it's back to what I said. If you know somebody that had this, it wasn't easy to uninstall. It was like 4 steps, and it was not, hey, let me just uninstall Indigo. No, you couldn't. Let me just uninstall the Exodus that installed. No, you couldn't. There was a service first. Then it was, I'm out of order. I know it was a service. It was some weird ass service first that you had to go into services and dependencies, uninstall it first. Then you could uninstall Placenta. But it was like, it was all done in a way, and it wasn't done by just somebody had no idea. They knew that it was almost like it's tangled together that a simple person couldn't figure it out. Why would they do that? Again,
Exactly, and that's not a simple thing to set up either. That's
No,
someone
no.
that knew what they were doing
right.
to make it tie you in such a knot like that. So,
Yeah.
but no, I think my beef tonight was I got a phone call.
We were talking about something else.
Yeah, Mank is obviously part of the Dream Army team, and he called me and he goes, "Oh, I'm just updating the builds because he does the builds. I've got no time for that at all anymore." And he was like, "Oh, I found this really great add-on. It's third on Kodi apps list. It's called All Eyes on Me." He goes, "But I was looking at the repo, and he's like, they got some like weird stuff in it." He goes, "You should take a look." So I was like, "Okay, before you put it on your build, let me take a look." So I get into it, and literally I see in this repo he's linked the guy. You install the All Eyes on Me repo, and then in his add-ons XML, he's linked to quite a few dead repos, but he's also got a link to the TVA repo. And I, straight away I rang Mang back up and I said, "Do not fucking put this in your build. You're backdooring TVA straight onto people's devices there." And I tweeted about it, and I didn't know who the guy was, never heard of him, but I tried reaching out, finding out who he was, and then he started abusing me on Twitter. And I pointed out to him the fact that having that stuff in there is dangerous. People are installing your repo, and they've got no idea that you're providing a backdoor for TVA straight in, because you're even linking directly to TVA's repo as well. And he's like, "No, it's totally safe." And it's like, are you fucking stupid, kid? He literally did not give a shit. He was. I thought at first it was naivety that he didn't know what he was doing, but he clearly knew. He clearly knew what he was doing and just didn't give a shit. And he's like, "Oh, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it if something happens, but it's totally safe." It's like, well, that's like fucking saying you're going to put smoke alarms in your house while the bastard's on fire. It's on us. So I just said, "Look, okay, well, I'm tweeting and I'm telling people about it because you must have a good add-on." Manx obviously rang me up and said it's a great add-on, but people are installing your repo with zero clue that they're opening their devices right up to hijack it, because there's about 4 dead repos in there that TVA can get control of if they wanted to. And the worst thing is TVA's repos in there anyway. It's directly linked to their data dirt. And so, trying to explain to him that all they had to do was bump an add-on number and bam, they've got control. But he wasn't having any of it. And, says he's been in the community 8 years. Everyone knows who he is. And he was just thick as fuck.
Well, the thing is that so many people have been in the community a long time, and there's numerous people that are in the chat on the side over here that I see people standing. There's a lot of people that've been around here a long time, and we've seen the same shit happen over and over, and the same people create the same shit happen over and over. And I'll say, you know what? I have no use for TVA. I saw what they were about when they were actually active, and I've seen what they've been about on the back end of them being their court order and all the bullshit. They're here for one reason. They're here to sell you something and to get a kickback on something that they're selling you. That's the only reason they're here. That is it.
Yeah,
so
he's all about money. You saw the pictures of him on his yacht. He's all about the money.
He was here for that reason, and he continues to be here for that reason. He continues to be relevant for that. So why open up your devices to something that can install? Just like Nimsy's saying. So for people that may not understand how, so like Nimsy says, all you got to do is bump up a version number. So let's say TVA says, and they want to update. I'll use let's say Placenta, because Placenta's gone. So let's say they want to do that, and they say, well, the last official version of Placenta was 7.0. So they go and make it 7.1, and then they put that in their repository. Anybody that would have had that Placenta add-on would have 7.0.
Yeah.
Kodi looks at all the repos on your device. It looks. It says, hey, is there anything new? You've seen it up when you first boot up Kodi. It looks, and once it sees that there's an update, and you've got 7.1, most people have their settings to automatically update. It grabs it. Whatever's inside 7.1 will install on your device. And if there's other dependencies, guess what? They get installed with it. So you didn't tell it to install the new update. Automatically set that way. And they can do that. That can be done. And that's, I've said to people over and over, The repositories you install are highly important. You are giving the keys to your home,
you're trusting
your Kodi device. You are giving whoever's repository you put on your device, you give them the keys. They can.
You know what, Todd? The best part about it is when you think about the fact that TVA was the one that came out with the GitHub browser thingy where it could find new add-ons through Git. It had an actual add-on that did that. So you can be sure as shit that it also detects when a Git goes down. So the second a Git goes down, all of a sudden TVA's loading their shit on it. Because you know what? They're the freaking first people to know that it's actually fucking gone down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was my point. So that's why I tweet. The add-on I hear is great, but if you've got the All Eyes on Me repo installed on your device, if you've got any common sense, you'll remove it until he cleans it up. But I suggested to him earlier to clean it up, and like I said, the tweet argument is on my Twitter at the moment. You can see the guy literally gives no shit and kept calling me a nonce. Kept calling me a nonce for some reason. Education wasn't his strongest.
You know what we've said to people is, you know what, sometimes, yes, you get in trouble and your Git's got to go down, but don't close it, just empty it.
Oh, when I quit, I'm gonna clear my Git, but I'm not gonna delete it because I know.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying anybody who's listening that has a Git that gets nervous and whatever happens, and you feel like you want to close it because something's happening. Don't close it. Just remove your add-ons if you're nervous about it for whatever reason. Don't let anybody else take it over.
Yeah. So yeah, it's in. Oh, I want to mention.
Leave a text document in there or something saying "fuck you, Adam Lackman," just so he can't overtake
That would be
it.
brilliant.
That is my plan. When I retire, I will be leaving just a little note. Fuck you, Adam Lackman.
Yeah, I want to see that for sure.
And Donnie, I'll let Moab talk just a second. I'm sorry. One thing I do want to clarify, and when we first started talking about we talked about Supremacy. Supremacy did not have a Git. His repository was on somewhere else. It was on a server, so it was not on Git. So
there's no worry there.
You don't have the issue that if he would have had a GitHub account where his repository was closed and someone could hijack it. You don't have that issue now, so you're pretty much safe with that situation. So
remove the repo though. You can keep the add-on because it'll probably run for a while, or maybe not. Maybe not.
Yoda will. Yoda will.
Also, for the developers that they are having repositories in GitHub, like Nemesis, I think has one.
Yeah.
We will never delete our accounts in GitHub. We will delete only the repositories inside our GitHub. To explain that to the users and to the people. After the incident with the clones, with 13 clones, the problem created because 13 clones delete their GitHub account. They're deleted. They didn't delete the repository, they delete their account. So another human being can go to the GitHub and create the same username account in GitHub. For example, my username is Bugacinio. If tomorrow morning I'm going to my repository in GitHub and delete my account, tomorrow or in the same time, someone else with the name Bugacinio can create a new repository. And that's the whole problem starts. So me and Nemesis, for example, that we're here in the panel, we will never go to delete our GitHub's accounts, only the repositories.
Yeah, no, it's any dev that's got a GitHub account, for Christ's sake, if you do quit, don't delete your account, just empty it. And I will do the same. When I do go, I will not delete my account. To me, to be fair, any dev that quits, they could just think, oh, well, I don't give a shit. It's up to the users. But users have enjoyed your stuff. You owe it to them not to, till GitHub sort that bug out.
Well, and you think about how smart it is to hijack that. Like it's always only been big add-ons. It's never little add-ons that get hijacked. It's always just the ones that have a shitload of users, eh? Like honestly, like 13 Clowns and Placenta, and it's like it's all the big ones. He doesn't take the little ones because he doesn't care about the little ones. He just grabs the giant ones. You know what? Go away already, Adam. Bye-bye. See ya. Irrelevant.
Hey, let me go ahead and let Muad. Thanks for joining. I'm sorry you haven't had a chance to talk yet. We've had a lot of breaks in the conversation.
I'm really surprised actually. Jesus, he's got a big mouth. That one.
Hey. That's all right. I'm just pulling back into work. I'm on my lunch break. I was like, yeah.
Hi, Muad.
His
Hey.
lunch break's over now. We talked through it.
Yeah, well, we all talk.
I don't. I'm very quiet.
Let me tell you something.
So how's life going for you, Muad? Working anything fun or any other than working?
Working, getting new certifications for work, all kinds of stuff like that. That's about it here lately. Been doing my other work, Kodi and stuff, but got someone that's been helping me out, and plus bugging the crap out of Terror on his skin work. Not helping him, just
Yeah,
bugging him.
his new one is friggin' nice.
Yeah.
Real cool. Really nice.
Oh yeah, he put a lot of work into that new one.
And you can tell too.
Oh yeah. All right, hold on a second. Other phone's ringing.
It's his wife. You're on that YouTube channel. I told you no more Kodi stuff.
Let's see. SS, who's he talking to? Says, ask him about creating an add-on that scrapes for movies, websites, and TV show websites instead of just single movies and TV shows. I guess he's talking to you, Nimsy.
Does that make any sense though?
Yeah, that's what I don't. I mean, Nemesis AIO uses multi-scrapers, so that scrapes several sites for your movie. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what.
Yeah,
you
I didn't
mean.
understand the question.
It's and I know a lot of the gem templates obviously use like the open scrapers and stuff like that. So they all scrape all those websites for you anyway. So unless he's like stuck on an idea of a movie to watch, so he wants maybe just to pull a load of movie sites and see what movies are on there. But
yeah,
you'll have to clarify that question more.
Well, and if you want in something like that, you could click on a tab like popular or an IMDb list that has the top 250 movies, and then because most of those sites are going to have your new stuff, so it's going to be popular or most recent or people are watching. Those would be the tabs that if you're in an add-on that you would click to open that up. So
most, like I said, most add-ons that use multi-scrapers scrape a certain amount of sites. I think Nemesis AIO, I've used about 10 sites because, to me, I don't get the point of having 1,000 links for one TV show. You only need one bloody link to work. So, I just use 10 sites that are popular. But your issue is, especially people that make scrapers will start noticing sites are starting to get harder and harder to crack. They're starting to introduce more and more stuff because they don't want you scraping them. So you've got plenty of options.
Yeah, and that's we've talked about that with between Cloudflares and
Cloudflare was a pain in the ass recently.
There's so many in these sites, and I've talked about it on this show. Why do they do it? Because these websites don't want Kodi scraping, pulling from the link because Kodi's using the bandwidth and it gives them no AdSense or any kind of they can't monetize from Kodi because there's no ads. So these websites are using bandwidth to give you your content without being able to gain ads. Whereas if you used a browser, they would be able to hit you with an ad. So some of the other guys could probably talk about some of the struggles that these scrapers have been having.
Well, I've known recent that websites are getting more and more difficult, and they'll change it daily. And
oh yeah. There's been several that me and Shell work with that they'll change like just one or two characters, like in the spelling of something.
The new thing that they do now is they are using Google reCAPTCHA, but invisible.
Yeah.
To run it, you must be in the website.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can't get nothing. For example, this invisible thing. They are using now hosters like OpenLoad, but not the OpenLoad. Other hosters, they are using it, so we can play the streams for those hosters.
Yeah,
So imagine that you find a website that you can scrape it, and the links that provides this site can be resolved in Kodi. So the website is useless.
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder, and I mean, if it does keep following the pattern that it's following, I mean, I'm starting to get bored of sitting on a website for an hour and sniffing all the background processes and that. It's give it another year. If it keeps going the way it's going to go, and it might just become bloody pointless doing it.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, you'll notice too, it's the ones that more and more people will use. Like if you have an add-on, you're the first person to do it. Nobody else is scraping it. You won't see that. But then as more and more people realize, well, hey, this guy's getting these results from this place, and then they look at your code, whether it's a drag and drop scraper because they have a fork of the same base, or they modify it, like if it's a universal scraper, when they modify it for their add-on. The more and more places scrape them, they'll start doing that. Just one example, and this is a minor one compared to all the others that all the forks use and gens use and everything with Universal. But B98 TV completely revamped their storage and how they play theirs just to get around the scrapers, because so many add-ons were using a B98 plugin and gen, or they had added it through an indexer in the Covenant fork, stuff like that. And they just completely changed everything just to get around that. They hadn't changed anything on their site in years.
I had the same with XX Exodus and Porn Hamster. It was working great, and then suddenly one day, daily, they were changing their div tags and that, and it just got to a point I was updating the scrapers daily to fix it, to the point then that I was going to end up in the high hundreds if I kept going on version numbers. So I just removed it, because websites were just getting so boring to keep updating.
Yep, and I've seen it over and over. And sometimes they'll move on to drastic measures. Sometimes, they don't like the hassle of it either. But then again, they still want to break it, so they just, like you said, where they're changing the div tags, things like that, adding spaces into different areas, depending on how scrapers are done, that may or may not break them. And they do little bitty things like that just to try to get around the scrapers using that extra bandwidth.
Yeah. And like I said, it's these sites are going to do it. I know I see the 1-1 over there. It's talked about it. He doesn't use Kodi that much, but if you're using APKs, you're going to run into the same issues, because almost all these APKs are pulling the same. They're pulling from the same sites that Kodi's using. You may not know that by the way that the GUI looks to you. You may not be able to tell that, but a lot of them are doing the same thing. They may just be pulling from one or two sites, or some of the, I know that like Titanium and some of the other ones, or not Titanium, Terrarium, or some are free flicks. There's some you would see the scrape, and it does just like so. It's using the same sites again.
It's using similar code, just written in Java.
Yeah, and you're pulling from these sites as bandwidth, and even if you're using an APK, and people are like, well, I have an APK and it gives me ads, so the website's getting getting money. No, they're not, because that money's going into whoever created that APK. It's not going to the hoster that actually hosts that, or the site that they're scraping from. So sometimes people are like, well, I watch an APK and I get an ad, so that's all. If you think that money's going back to the actual true hoster, I would be shocked if that money was like that.
And it's all a vicious circle, because you're also seeing the same thing happen with these APKs, where they're changing things up over and over multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because they want to get away from people doing those mods.
Exactly, because they're taking away from their ad revenue. Yep. So they're doing the same thing that the sites are doing.
And isn't that it's so funny, though, in a way, to me. All right, so APKs, Kodi, either one, are creating. They're circumventing the ads that are coming from the website that actually hosts that. And so you've created these APKs and Kodi add-ons, well, APKs that give you these ads, and the ads are there so that the developer of that APK gets some financial benefit. And now people have taken that APK and they make a modded version of that APK where you don't see the ad. So you'll see ad-free whatever add-on or whatever APK. So you have these, and then the APK developer getting upset because people are giving out an APK that circumvents their ads when they should be getting paid, but the APK is circumventing the ad that would have been coming from the original hoster site that actually had the site.
Yep.
It's like, isn't that a bit hypocritical? I mean, you're going to get upset because some guy did that. You're doing that to a hoster.
Exactly. And well, see, that's just it. They're doing it double fold because they're doing it to the site that they're getting the links from and from the hoster that they're resolving around those ads so they don't display what's going to get streamed. Because that's how a lot of your hosters make their money to stay up and not charge people is they display the ad before you can watch the video clip, you know, be it a movie, TV show, or a family thing that you uploaded. You know, so they're kind of, they're double circumventing, and they're upset because someone circumvented their, all their stuff, and it cracks me up on those.
See, I've got zero issue with ads because obviously being someone that spends hours and hours of coding, I think a lot of people that complain about ads or having to do this and see an advert, but if you actually understood the amount of work that sometimes goes into things, you wouldn't mind them. You wouldn't mind the ads because it's everything in this world isn't free. People expect too much. People expect that people are there to serve them and give them what they want for free, and it's just spend hours of their time that they could be doing better things with, just so you can sit at home and watch a movie with your family.
Yeah. Well, I'll say we or Kodi, XBMC community have created a I want it now, and I want it for free. And I think that what I think is happening is I think that more and more are going to have to rely on these premium services, premium hosting services. I think that's where it's going to have to lean towards, because I use a premium host. I use a premium service because I used to be able to not have a hard time getting links, and it was easy. And then it got harder and harder because of the things we're talking about here, sites doing whatever. And
because like 20 million people started using Kodi. That's what happened.
I was about to say Kodi 2.5 years ago was a lot better than what Kodi is now.
Yeah.
And it still goes Kodi/APKs because they're separate, but they're the same because they're all pulling from the same pool.
Yeah.
If anything, APK is more dangerous because you can't actually see the source code. It's not an open source, so you don't know what you're installing.
That's true.
Yep. And you've got APK developers out there that get served, and so then they put in code to start gathering users' data. And that just opens you up even more.
Yeah, and we've talked about that numerous times about, all right, so people get upset about the Kodi community. It's a bunch of drama. It's a bunch of fighting this and that. Oh, he's bad-mouthing this guy. But one of the things about Kodi that is good, that it's open source, the code is all there. People can try to hide their code, but 99% of the time, a person can code what you thought you had hidden.
There's always someone smarter than you out there.
Right.
You can think you're being smart, someone smarter there.
As a user, you may not figure it out, but you know what? Somebody we know in Kodi will find it.
Yeah, and the thing is, with Kodi, you've always got people checks and balances. So you create an add-on, you're doing something, you have an add-on, and not that someone wants to bust you, but they're like, how are you doing this? How are you pulling these trailers? How are you doing that? I want to know how you're doing it. They'll look at the code, and that's like a checks and balances. And if someone saw something that was malicious code that's being installed, that's when you're going to find.
Look at Lambda. Lambda, biggest dev out there, and he got called out the minute he turned thingy into a bot network.
Yeah.
And it's that happens, but with APKs, very difficult to decompile, to look through all of it. So it is easier to hide code in these APKs, and these APKs are out every day. People are releasing them all the time, and people install them without a thought. Just click, 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 install. Hey,
a lot of them have got Bitcoin miners in as well, haven't they? Yeah. So they're actually turning your device into a Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that's happened. We've had, there's been discussion on that. One of the things when it was in Kodi, then it got called out, people talking about it, then they got rid of it. It was the thing about with Kodi, yes, you got drama at times, but you will get checks and balances, whereas APKs, there's not somebody checking someone.
That's the whole point, though, is like Kodi has drama because people are putting shit in their add-ons. If everybody was like awesome and on the right and making honest to goodness stuff, there would be no drama in Kodi. But the problem is people are stealing other people's stuff, and people are putting code in that's DDoSing people. And if everybody was just on the upper level, it'd be smooth sailing.
Well, yeah, I'm ashamed of myself because I haven't been. I used to get, everyone who knows me, I used to get involved in Kodi drama all the time. I'd argue the sky was fucking black. But, you know, I used to get attacked a lot, and I used to defend myself, and I still think I was right on a lot of stuff I used to defend myself on.
I think you and Dave, I had to put you and Dave as probably the two biggest arguers there for a while.
Well, no, me and Goliath, I think, back in the day.
Well, I don't mean you guys argue with each other, but I'm saying that, like a lot of times with Dave.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd argue a lot, but you know, they got to a point that I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to give a shit anymore, and I've been like that for ages. But tonight, I did feel I had to say something because you know there was a good add-on out there. It is a good add-on, but you know the guy was being. It was a dirty tactic, and I felt it needed to be. I'm surprised I'm the first person to have noticed it.
So can I help argue? Can I jump in on it? Where's it at?
It's on my Twitter, but I'll be deleting it tomorrow. I'll be going back to just doing my usual self, just ignoring all the fucking drama because I can't be asked with it. So because I think, like I said, back in the day, I used to do enough arguing to last me a lifetime.
Let's just get like our top 100 comebacks between everybody. And we'll make a bot, and when people start in, we'll just set the bot loose on them.
And it's so just be careful of these all-in-ones and these all-in-one repositories. Like I said, we talked about it. It can install other stuff that you don't want.
Some of the blame has to lie on these websites, though, that are telling people how to install these add-ons. If you're going to write a website and instruct people on how to install an add-on and give a review on an add-on, check the fucking add-on out yourself first.
That's why Nan was great, because it had like a super repo essentially, except it wasn't super repo, but you could install the add-ons you wanted to install. But it was like a well-recognized, here we are. We're not fly-by-night. You have no idea where our zip is. Here's our website. Here's our forum. You can ask questions, and that's what was awesome about it. Like, what was it, community portal?
Yeah. And the other thing is when something was new in there, it would also a user could flag it and say, or it would tell you that it's a new repo, and then also people could put comments and say, hey, this has that. And if it was flagged, then you would have a red mark on the repository, and it says, hey, this has been flagged to show that it has unauthorized add-ons or whatever. It would say there's an issue. You need to do some research. So it would inform you that you might want to look into this because there may be a problem with that.
Yeah, it wasn't just a brawl.
And yet I did a list on add-on or repos.
Yeah, you had your list.
And I got freaking fried for it. I mean, people came after me like you wouldn't believe. Deepers and me both.
Yeah, because if you put somebody on that wasn't it a nice and naughty list.
Yeah, it was like a good and bad is just how we rated it. Good
and bad. And you're like, why am I on the bad list?
The thing is, these days in Kodi as well, 9 times out of 10, a new add-on comes along, it's probably a fork of another fork of another fork. There's so many fucking forks out there. We need to know.
Yep.
So it literally is. Every time you see a new add-on, it's most likely a confident fork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And, you don't need. That's what I don't get with these builders as well. That they'll whack all these forks in it, and you're thinking, why are you doing that? That's 5 add-ons using the exact same scrapers, scraping from the exact same sources, All they have is different artwork.
Yes.
But they're pretty. Oh,
Oh,
So,
shiny.
but hey, we had another subject, and that was we've talked on this show several times about the Destiny add-on, and that was another developer that announced yesterday that he was no longer going to be doing updates to the add-on. Which I will say, and I've talked about this on the show. Destiny, we talked about it. When he created the add-on, he first said right off the bat, "Hey, anybody wants to fork this? Anybody wants to use it? Do whatever you want with it. It's for everybody to use." And he said it plain and simple right off the bat. Anybody wants to use it, anybody fork it. And he said, I'm going to try to keep it up for a while. And he said he posted the other day or yesterday that, you know what, he's moving on. He's got another project that he's working on, and he just doesn't have the time or the patience to keep up Destiny. So he's put it out there. So that's an add-on that's out there. It works, but you have a person that's decided to for family reasons or I have other projects going on, moved on to something else, and that's going to happen. Will somebody else? One of the things about with Destiny, it's out there. If someone wants to mess with the code, Blue and I have messed around with it. We've messed around cosmetically with it and created our own fork of it.
Don't start another fork epidemic, please.
Well, no, but the thing is, we did it as that was for us. It was we wanted something for us, and that's going to happen with people. Going to be able to create the things that.
You know what? Okay, Nemsy, just to be safe here, there's not many people that can walk up to Python and write from scratch an entire add-on. Most people are going to adopt. I mean, why recreate the wheel? Yeah, you might want to make the rubber a little more resistant to heat or whatever, but at the same token, that code's already been written. Yeah, you can improve on that code, but you can be guaranteed that 99% of pretty much everybody's add-on out there, even all of yours, no offense, boys, a big portion of it is written by somebody else. Yes, you've changed it. Yes, you've improved it. But why would you rewrite something that's already, you've got a base code for it? Yeah, you're not grabbing a whole fork. No. But you're grabbing a portion of somebody's add-on. You're grabbing a little bit of this code that works because that pulls the player, and then that plays the add-on. Nobody here has written anything entirely from scratch, brand fucking new. No, and no offense, and that's not an insult. It's just to say that a lot of this base is already there. It's like saying, you know what? Now you've got to invent a new alphabet. No, you're going to use A, B, C, D. You might write a different novel than everybody else did, but you're still using the base of somebody else's stuff. It's not a fork, but you can't tell me that every single line of every single add-on you've ever made is all your own, that you haven't grabbed something from Simple Kodi or a little bit of Exodus or a little bit of anything, right? Any of you guys? Did you write it right from scratch? You sat down, you opened a blank.
Flex, my GUI add-ons I have, but obviously I do use PYXBMCT, which is written by someone else, but obviously that's a module that relies on. Nemesis AIO, that's all my own code.
This is a module to create the GUI that you are creating with the Flex is your creation. So the whole add-on is yours.
Yeah, Flex is fully written from scratch. Nemesis AIO, written from scratch. StreamArmy, no. StreamArmy, we used obviously base code that was written by MK. It's where I learned some stuff.
So Flex is written from scratch. It has 0 Plex code in it. It has 0.
For example, Flo, to give you an idea, release BB
no, is okay, listen. Listen for 1 second. I'm not trying to be a bitch about it. I'm just saying that chances are some of the code came from elsewhere. Came from
wait a second.
Original, like I said, Simple Kodi or original Kodi code, like Kodi has on there. You know, when you're trying to learn how to write an add-on. Do you know what I mean? How to use a player, how to have a dialogue box, how to have a. That's what does that make sense?
I understand you, but obviously you have to write the code a certain way, like you said about how to use the player, and that you have to write the code that way because it's the only way it'll work. So
yeah.
So
okay, to give you an example, it's easier. Release BB that I rebirth in the terms of Kodi, addon is a rebirth addon. It was written by someone, but now the code, for example, it has download option. It has search with save options of the search terms that you are using. So all this code wasn't inside the addon. It's a new code.
That's not what I'm saying. I think you're misunderstanding me. You used an original add-on, though, right? This add-on is based on another add-on.
Exactly.
Yes, and then you made it better. You forked it, and you made it better.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that you didn't start in a fresh Python and write this from scratch. You took
no, but I made the 3 addons from scratch.
Yep.
Well, actually, yes, Blue, you have caught me out because Nemesis AIO does use like workers py and add-on called py, and they were written by someone else. But it wasn't a fork of another add-on. It was written from a scratch.
I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. That's not what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, like for example, Destiny, he grabbed stuff from everywhere, and he combined it all into being awesome. So it's not a fork of anything. It's a.
I don't mind that. My bugbear is maybe like the many of the Exodus ones where they're literally all the same with just different.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. But that's what I'm saying is that it's kind of hard to rewrite stuff that's already not perfected by any means, but stuff that's a really good base for something, and then you build on it. Yeah, that's the whole point of a fork, is that you make it better. Like Q took meta and made it into metallic, which was like night and day for add-on. You can't even pretty much tell they're the same thing, but his metallic was based on meta. Same thing with extended info became extended info mod, but it was like two. If you look at the two of them side by side, you wouldn't even recognize them.
Yeah, they're genuine forks. I class them as genuine forks, but there is a lot of clones. I would class them as clones.
No, and I agree with you that most add-ons now are not even forks; they're just clones, which is new art, new name.
I like
spoons. Yeah, no, I that's what I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that it's like it's kind of nice nowadays because there are few devs, and then we got 3 here. But there are few devs that can actually code stuff. So yeah, most people clone it essentially, but most forks, which are awesome, which are based on an original add-on. But that doesn't mean they're still Exodus. They're not, because like you were saying, so many add-ons are based on Covenant. Well, Covenant was based on originally what, Genesis or Exodus?
I think it was Exodus. When I don't know, I've lost count.
But that's what I mean.
Genesis to Exodus to.
That's what I mean. You could say there's so many clones of Covenant. Well, Covenant was a clone of Exodus.
Verse 3 is Genesis, Exodus, Covenant.
Yeah, he made Exodus because the funny thing about that is Genesis was amazing. And then he made Exodus because Genesis was so popular, it was killing sites. So he thought, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to make Exodus, but I'm going to take out some of the great features that Genesis has, because if it's less good, less people will use it. But the problem was he was already so big right now that people didn't give a shit that it wasn't Genesis anymore. They still wanted his stuff. Yep. So it's still like millions of people used it. But that's why he made Exodus. Because
I miss some of the old add-ons. There were some greats, weren't there, back in the day?
Well, yeah, and I think that there also, I think things change, and we look back and we think, oh, this was such good. There was more people that knew were actually good coders. There were more people. Yeah. Most of them are gone, and you have a smaller pool, and you'll get new people that come in. Now, I have seen where when new people come in, it's hard for them to learn because they have to learn on their own, because some of the old schoolers that may be working in the shadows or off in the corner somewhere, they're not public. Don't allow anybody coming in to help. They're not there to say, "Come on in, we'll show you how to do this."
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to be dev nowadays.
They're very careful about who they let into their circle because they've gotten in trouble or they're worried about getting in trouble. So if they're working on something, nobody else knows about it. They don't have a public add-on. So there's not like maybe before
Not
where
a dev school. It'd be great if there was a dev school, actually.
you had that. Now it's if you can get someone to help you, if you might be able to get them to sit down and to spend some time with you if you let them in. But most people are they don't trust people when they come into the scene.
I was about to say, I think we're probably about a year and a half too late now, because I think the community is so sour now. It's hard. You'll find it hard to find someone that is willing to help, because it is.
Well,
It's gone that way.
With all the letters that have gone out from Ace and stuff, you're a little nervous that in every Telegram group they're everywhere. And is this an actual person that wants to learn, or are they just trying to screw me?
Yeah.
Are they gathering evidence against me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it is a little bit. I'm not writing off. I'm not writing off everything. It's just we're in a different environment. We're in a different time, and you know what? Things are good. So I mean, I'm fine. I get to watch whatever I want when I want. That's fine.
Todd, the thing that I find is that so old devs go away, and new devs come along though. Like I mean, and most of them are self-taught. Like most of them haven't learned anywhere. They've played with the code. They maybe had programming experience beforehand. Bugacino, I mean, Christ, you came out of nowhere. Same thing with Moad. Moad, I mean, you started on, coding, but you didn't know coding, and you learned shit. Same thing with Nemsy. Like, all you guys are the same. You came along. You weren't mentored.
I didn't even know how to playlist at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't mentored. You came in, you started learning little things about it, and then that's where you learned how to code. You know what most people don't get is that it's not 2 seconds and you know what you're doing. You actually have to put some fucking effort into it. And most people won't. They'll be like, oh, I'd really like to learn how to code. Okay, well, here's a program that you can take. Oh, well, it's like 300 pages of reading. Yeah, apparently you have to learn.
Not only that, wait a minute. Remember that I start a Python school, whatever.
Yes.
Also, Moab start videos in YouTube.
Yeah.
And all the people has the imagination of okay, I'm going to listen and see Moab's video, and I will become a developer.
I mean, all of you guys that turned into good devs, it's because you actually put work into it. You didn't just some are natural.
We spent a lot of time.
And I think
months, no time, months.
Like Bugacino, like one thing that I've heard from every good dev that I know is that to them, like to you guys, you like it because it's like a puzzle and you have to solve it. And if somebody says, okay, well, how do you do this? And you go, well, I don't know right now, but hold on, give me a bit and I'll figure it out.
That's my exact point. Any dev that says he does this for the users, I call bullshit.
Moab is the best on puzzles.
Well, Moad
get solutions every time.
Yeah, you know what? One of the best devs I ever met in my life was Midro, and I would always say to him, "My God, you're like such a good dev," and he goes, "No, I'm just a noob. I'm still learning. Like I don't know half this shit." But he would write stuff in like 10 minutes, and I'd be amazed. And he goes, "Yeah, like I don't know everything." Like he said, "I'm still learning too." Like, and he would be excited about it. He'd be like, "Oh my God, how do you?" We would say, "Hey, Mid, do you know how to do this?" And be like, "No," and then he'd go off and he'd figure it out. I admired that. I don't have that creativity.
Yeah, it's exactly why I say any dev that says he does it for the community, he's doing it for the people. I call bullshit because I don't do it for the people. I do it for me. I like the challenge.
I mean, that's still okay though. If you're not, as long as you're not doing it for money or fame, if you're doing it for you or the people, I'm still okay with both those.
I'm doing it for virtual blowjobs.
Well, that's still about you, isn't it?
It's always
I'd do it for the challenge to see if I can do it.
Exactly that. And it's more annoying when you spend 10 hours trying to figure a problem and you're pulling your hair out, banging your head off the wall, and you think, sod this, walk away, go to sleep, and suddenly at 2 o'clock in the morning, your brain tells you the answer.
Yeah.
And then you feel like a god. Then you feel like a god when you solve it on your own, eh? Like it's like a feeling.
And then you just keep going.
I want to. Captain Kirk was asking who's saying a thing, and I'll for some of the people that may be new to Kodi and this and that, and we talked on forks and clones this and that. I'll say so. What a clone is if I take an add-on and I grab it and let's say we've talked about Exodus, so I'm just going to say Exodus. So I take Exodus, the zip of Exodus, and I say, you know what? I'm gonna make my own add-on. I go into the add-on XML, which is easy to find L file. I change the name of it. Change the name from plugin video Exodus to plugin video dot the butcher. So now I got my add-on. Then I go through and I change the art. Okay, I make the new art, make a new icon, and then I put it out there and I say, here's my new add-on. Now, did I release the new add-on? Yes, I did. I released a new add-on called the Butcher. Does it have its own art? Yes, it does. Does it have its own name? Yes, it does. But it's an exact replica clone of Exodus. Nothing's different. So that's a clone. And some people will release these things and they'll stay a clone, but it'll be a different name. But what a fork is I took a clone, I took my The Butcher, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to start changing the code. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to change the list. Now I'm going to change the way that it downloads. I'm going to start pulling from different places, and I start pulling bits and pieces of that code out, and I put in some of my others, or I improve it. And over time, what was a clone becomes a different add-on more and more and more because I am adding things to it, taking it away, putting all kinds of new ways that it does it. Yeah. Then it becomes a fork. And that's what we've talked about, the difference between a fork and a clone. And they are the same at the beginning, but if you do work and keep changing it, it becomes its own add-on, and it becomes
yeah, you don't want to use the original because yours is so different. Like the thing is, okay, when you look back in the old days, when there was a small amount of devs and there was a small amount of add-ons, and lots of times what other devs would do is they'd be like, you know what would be really cool is if this add-on did this. So they would submit the idea to the original dev. Yeah. Now, sometimes the original dev would be like, that's a great idea. Let's collaborate. And we can have, you know, branches on my Git and whatever. But sometimes original devs didn't like the idea. And they'd be like, screw that. I don't want to do that in my add-on. So where do you go from there? Do you just use the old original add-on, or do you grab that add-on and make the changes you wanted to make it a better add-on? And like prime example again is Metallic versus Meta. Night and day. If you look at Meta that's on Kodi repo and you look at a Metallic, it's night and day what they do. And it's all because Q tried to the original dev of Meta, the ideas that he never intended on forking. He didn't want to fork. He wanted to just submit these ideas and the code for these ideas and hoped that the dev would take them on, but he didn't. So he went his own direction. Nowadays, and back then too, like your original repos, not everybody had a wizard. It was like it was a smaller community. Now everybody has everything, so everybody can just grab add-ons and change it. Back then you didn't. Back then you didn't know how to. Back then, you know what I mean? It was like it was actually nicer when it was a smaller community.
About the days back to the time, I think the main reason these days we have so many forks of Exodus, for example, and it's an idea that came to me now that we are talking about it too, is that in the past there are more or less two teams of devs. The one was the big one of TV addons. They are many individuals, okay, by their own, but the core was the TV addons, and all the developers was in the TV addons. So all the developers there, they have, in my opinion, they had the need of have an Exodus, and it was Genesis at that time. So they create only one addon to use. Imagine if 20 of those developers in TV addons was in 5 different teams, they will create 5 different Genesis web addons, right?
They actually that kind of happened. Originally it was XBMC Hub, and you had Adam, and then you had Lee, who was from NAN, and then you had Mikey, who was from what was it, Zunity. Okay. They were all part of the same team, and then they split off because they had differing ideas about something, and it ended up being like 3 different.
We had, for example, Genesis, and we have sites.
You had Genesis from Lambda, but then you also had what was it?
You had all the websites. You have all the websites from the Mikey Duck.
Back in the day,
creating add-ons by scrapping the websites only. For example, you had
you had what was it? One started with a 1.
Ice
One-
Films was the
One
one.
Flicks
Ice
or
Films.
something like that.
Ice Films was the one. The other one was Giphy. The other one was on
What was-
movie.
What was the one that 20 mashup? Was it called mashup?
Yeah,
Matchup
25
yeah.
tweets.
Actually, it was an XBMC hub, I think, at the time. Like what
Yeah.
happened was there was a falling out. It was all one big group, and then it was a falling out, and it turned into three big groups.
Yeah, imagine now how, for example, we had Yoda, 13 Clowns, Placenta, Incursion, blah blah blah, etc.
They all did have their own. They all had their own, essentially, like
Yes, because they didn't.
they all had their own made
didn't- they wasn't inside the team.
Right.
they all
They
all got
start
leaders,
the work,
they all
and after that thing, they create their team probably.
Yeah.
The problem was that when the big guys closed down, all the little guys had to step up. And then all the little guys turned into everybody knew everything about every wizard and every repo and every. So anybody can grab anybody's stuff and do whatever they want to it now. Back in the day, nobody knew how to.
Yeah. Well, and I think that what Bocchino's also, what his point is, like, then there was less people, less groups. So now there's so many split groups. Everybody has their exodus for, and because you got so many little groups.
Oh, another thing. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
another thing to put inside this that you are thinking, and you can continue is that every team now has built and a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're creating the forks to support their build.
That's true. Yeah. So, but all right. So I guess now
That's the evolution. That's the friggin' evolution of Kodi, though. Like honestly, like I remember back in the day, back in those days, it was individual links all the time. And the funny thing about it is, you think you're evolving in Kodi, but the best part about it is, it went from individual links to individual scraper sites to scrapers that contained 1 million scraper sites to now people are doing individual links again.
Yep.
Yeah, Kodi's gone backwards.
It's funny. It's like it's devolved.
Yeah, it's gone backwards because obviously
Yeah, it does.
well, that's because things were a lot harder now. Back in the day, it used to be so easy to get a link.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
didn't
use
die
things
easy.
like real debrid and that. You would, but
And it
and
killed it. Then you
I
grab.
think in another, I don't know. I what do you reckon? 2 years time, Kodi will look totally different again to what he looks now.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I agree.
I'm sure. I mean, it's always changing, and that's the neat thing, and can be the downside of it.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but at the same time, okay, we went from individual links working okay to scraper sites working okay, and now they're not, to multiple scraper sites working okay, but now they're not. Now you need RD, and at some point, everybody's going to have RD, and you know what? Those are going to fail, and then what do we do?
It'll
Hello.
be dead. It'll be dead.
Hello, Plex.
Yeah, that's why I use Plex.
It's so funny though when you get.
I only actually turn Kodi on for when I'm developing. I do not use Kodi anymore.
To use Plex, you need to download.
Exactly. And how do you download? Torrents
I
and
use
newsgroups.
I use
So there's your
news
preview.
hosts.
No, actually, because everything is your circle in our life, you're going to 0 to 100 to 100 to 0 and all this stuff. So we have everything right now. It will be the time that we will have nothing, and again and again and again.
Maybe by then I'll learn something.
Well, I understand. So let's see. So we got, and I know that the last Captain Kirk's mentions what is everybody thinking about torrents, and torrenting is just a new. That's just evolved into when Resolve URL added torrents, the ability to pull torrents. That opened up a whole set of being able to
save the community, save the streaming community in Kodi.
It really did, and that was you're able to pull from those. And again, torrenting can be good and bad depending on your country and how you do it.
Yeah, but a lot of people, of people are panicking, thinking that this torrenting is peer-to-peer in. It's not. It's coming through. You have to have real debrid. It's coming through the real debrid servers. You're not downloading to your, because I know a lot of Americans panic when they hear the word torrent.
Yeah,
it's not like a torrent where if you were to go to the Pirate Bay and then download it
Exactly.
a torrent program. It is coming through the servers. It's just like a normal link is. So yeah, but it did.
That's if
say
you a real Debrid. If you have a real Debrid account, if you do not have a real Debrid account and you're using torrents, that's not coming from the real Debrid servers. It's actually coming from the swarm. That you could, if you're using real Debrid or Premiumize, or you have one of those accounts set up, yes, it's pulling from their servers. You're not part of that torrent swarm. But if you say you don't have a premium account and you connect with Elementum or Pulsar or Ace Streams or some of those other torrenting programs in Kodi, you are pulling from a swarm, and you could get in trouble with that. But if you have a real Debrid account, yeah, you are pulling from real Debrid. That it's almost like it's a torrent. That's where it came from originally. But you are pulling from real Debrid.
It's a buffer for you.
Yeah, you're pulling from their servers, and you're
Same thing like same thing when you're using Plex. If you use like a seed box, like Ultra Seed Box, you got a buffer. You're not grabbing it directly in your house.
no,
that's part of the reason, the whole fear factor.
Yeah,
is part of the reason why my last add-on, I had a section that explained the torrents, and it actually played a video right there with Kodi. They just click on the button, and it would play it right there in Kodi form to explain the way the torrents are done in that add-on, in order to relieve any concerns end users might have or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a tough. I mean, torrenting can be good and bad. Again, depending on if you have a premium account. If you're behind, if you're not using a premium account and you're in a country that does not care about that type of stuff, then you're fine. But if you're in a country that does care about those things, then you have to be behind a VPN unless you're using a premium service. Which
RD is so cheap though. It's like what, $3 a month? Like that's like one coffee.
I wouldn't use real Debrid because I think they're getting way too big for their boots. They're constantly slamming the Kodi third-party community.
Yeah.
The biting the hand that feeds them, because there'd be nothing without the Kodi third-party community. The user base would shrink about 95%.
You know what? Like everything though. Like I mean, they were awesome, but you know what? We're overwhelming them. We're like a swarm of ants, and it's like every single time. Well, what was that movie? World War Z. Remember that Brad Pitt movie where all the zombies are like swarming like ants? That's what we do with everything. That's what Kodi is. Kodi was fine for normal. We were getting HD shit on normal scraper sites for the longest time. Then there were so many people that swarmed it that we needed to go to RD. And then everybody promoted RD so much, now RD is swarmed, and they're making a shitload of money, but they're screwed because their servers are fucked because there's too many people using them.
Yeah.
It is. Real Debrid will get killed off.
Yeah, it will,
because
it's inevitable.
So I'm just about to try that Prime Easy out as well. My real Debrid sub's about to come to an end. I'm going to give Prime Easy a try.
Well, it premiumized, and then I actually saw a special for all Debrid, which I've never used that. And then now you have, what's it, Swiffy or Snappy Link or Link Snappy or something was a new that just came out this past week. I saw something about that. I haven't looked into it, but I saw that they offer a lot of. It reminded me a lot of Premiumized, the way that the features with the with actually cloud storage. It was up to 1 terabyte. So I don't know about that service. I've seen some pricing on that. I want to say pricing was like $55 for 6 months. Something like that, which is close to what Premiumized is. I think that's about what Premiumized is without a discount. I have seen some codes where you can actually get a lower rate for that. Is it Snap? It ain't Snappy Link, a Spiffy Link. It was something like that.
Sorry.
Hold on.
It's a link snappy. It's a link snappy.
Link Snappy. Okay.
Actually, the plugin for the resolve URL made by Highlight. I spoke to him to join us tonight, but he couldn't, so he will join you next week.
So yeah, he's supposed to be here next week with us, Twilight.
Yeah, and probably to give some leak snappy coupons.
Oh, hey, I didn't even know. See, look at that, I find out. So
actually now you can have a 55% discount in your registration in with writing the name Twilight.
and I think I saw Jay Sergio posted that.
I can find the tweet and send it to you.
Is Twilight a skinny little vampire dude?
What?
Skinny little vampire dude? You ever seen the movie?
I don't know if it's. I don't think he's from the Twilight movie.
No,
Thank God.
I don't think he is. But so next week, Twilight will be here, Link Snappy, and we'll see. And I'll be able to, because I'm being honest. I that just got released this past week that I saw a thing about Jay Sergio. They've added the URL resolver, so it's able to pull links, and it's going to be another premium service. I think that we may see more and more of those kind of things.
I think they're going to start ending up being like IPTV companies. There'll be bloody loads of them.
It very well could be. I can see where that could happen. That could happen.
It's supply and demand, isn't it? At the moment, there's a demand for it. So someone that wants to make money, they're going to set that sort of service up.
Yeah.
I think about this. And people look at how many people sign up for RD, and you think, oh my gosh, I have no idea how much their subscriber base is, but that is, if I get just a little piece of that and I'll have my service going, it very well could be. So time will tell with that. We'll see. I don't know. All right. So I got asked a question about the Orion. Orion that was part of Gaia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
I believe that was also part of like using the torrents and the like A streams kind of code where you were doing some type of file sharing. I never installed it or didn't use that feature when I used Gaia. I'm in a country I can't really be doing open torrents to public trackers, so I didn't even bother with that. But from my understanding, that it's part of the A streams, Pulsar, Quasar, that type of torrenting module plugin, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're in a place where you're concerned about torrenting is like say the UK or the US or Canada or a lot of Europe, of Western Europe, that's torrents could be a problem. In Eastern Europe, they may not be as concerned. So you may want to check into that. Let's see. Izzy is asking what I know if you only use cached only, it uses what are already on RD. If you use every torrent it first comes out, we'll put on RD that plays. Yes. All right. So what cached torrents are, and you will see this in a lot of add-ons. What that means is when it says it's a cached torrent, means Real to Brid, premiumized, Algebrid, whichever service you're using, they've already got it on their server. Okay, that file is already there. So when you click it, it's just like clicking on any other link, and you click it, and it calls out to the host, RD, premiumized, Algebrid, and it says we want to use that. We want to download, watch that film or video, and it lets you do it. If it's not cached, that means Real to Brid, premiumized, Algebrid doesn't have it yet. And so what you do is you have an account with one of those premium services. You're telling the premium service, hey, I want that video. Here's the link, the magnet link from a torrent. It goes out and downloads it. So you have that wait time. Sometimes you'll see a timer. You'll see the time, and it says, however many, 10 minutes, 10, whatever it is. And it downloads it to the server. Once the server has it, the premium service, once that server has it, then that server you're able to start watching it. Then anybody else that comes along that wants to watch that exact same torrent, they won't have to wait because it's already on the server because you cached it. And and that's what cached and non-cached is. I prefer, if I'm just wanting to watch it, I want to watch a cached version because I don't want to wait. If I don't mind waiting and I want that particular quality, that whatever it is, and I'm like, I want that particular quality for whatever reason, I will wait for it to download, then I'll watch it from the server. Again, I'm not downloading it. The premium service is downloading it, and then they hold it, and then I just actually view it. The difference between cached and not cached, if I dummy that down enough and make people understand. So,
Sorry, did you hear my sneeze, or was I muted?
Yeah, I heard you. Bless you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to hell now. Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, yeah. And ARB, hey buddy, nice to see you again. Yeah, we hung out, and I don't know how long him and I would sit on hangouts, we're doing builds and starting out with early on in those days. I enjoyed those times, and it just it seems like forever ago, but it's.
I
really
was just telling ARB that Baroni today in one of our chat groups brought up his YouTube video that he made about Crispy's builds, where it was a Hitler movie.
Yeah,
talking about.
Oh, it was Hitler.
He was going on about how great ARB builds were, and
yes.
Oh my God, I laughed again.
Yeah, yeah. Baroni was a card, and again, another when you had those people in your group, and when we had big groups, and you'd have these people that were always the jokesters and cutting up and having fun. And it was fun. I mean, we really had a good time. But it evolves and changes. And you see a lot of groups now, and I see the Death Star group, and I see the One Nation group. And the One Nations group's been around a long time, and they've got a lot of good core people. You got the Grindhouse groups.
They have been, yeah.
You've got all these groups together, and they're all working amongst themselves. And you know what? Things happen. They'll breakups and this and that. And some people will leave and go here, and some will start a new group. And it's just the evolution of things. And it just moves.
You know what? Okay, one thing I do have to say is, like, we complain about forks, and we complain about, oh, geez, can't somebody come up with something new? At the same time, lots of shit goes down. And you know what? If nobody used other people's add-ons to build on, Kodi probably would have died a long time ago. But thankfully, other people have grabbed other add-ons and built on them and built new groups. Like, I mean, most of the groups that are around today are built on existing Exodus add-ons, or,
Yeah, and the thing,
Kodi probably would have died if we had just expected brand new devs to jump in and take over. I think we'd be screwed right now.
And people learn. I mean, people you take a fork, or you take an add-on, a base, and you learn from it. I mean, I know that there's been lots of and for people badmouth gens, and they're like, oh, gens are everywhere. But yes, it was made to be super simple. It was made to be
the template.
It's created to be a basic template. Okay, so to make add-ons. And are there lots of them? Yes, there's lots of them, because it's so easy.
Well, and honestly, it's not a fork, though. It's a template. People were supposed to take it off and do fun and interesting things with it. But unfortunately, most times they just made add-on, like playlists with it. And that's about it.
Yeah, and the thing is that some of those people that did that, they got the bug and learned, and they moved to do more. So sometimes you have to start with these forks or this or that, and you'll find some people get excited and want to learn more. I know the
best way to learn how to code an add-on is to have your own add-on.
Yeah,
I mean, and then you play with it, and you break it, and the only way to learn is to actually play with an actual add-on. So you got to have your own.
Yeah,
you got to play with it. You got to play with it.
Oh,
many people.
Dirty old bastard.
I think too many people think this game is easy. They think that it's easy to code. It really isn't.
No, it's not. And I know that when I were messing around with creating a fork of Destiny, because we wanted something different, because to be honest, we didn't like the way it looked. And so we started talking about we're going to do something a little bit different. And having to look at the code and to see stuff in there. And I will say it's probably one of the biggest default pies that you'll see in any add-on. I mean, it's got to be 3,500 lines or 3,800 lines effed up default pie. But we're learning, and that
Oh, no, it's like 14,000 lines.
it's like we're learning as we're going, and it's, are we doing it for anybody else? No, we're doing it because we want it, and we want to mess with it and change it up and do stuff. And as we move forward, we'll learn more. And it's, again, we're not putting this out on a repo. We're not putting it out there to be on Kodi apps. It's
Look at me. Yeah, no. We just want to learn.
So, you know, that's the thing. And hopefully other people will take that add-on or other add-ons and do the same thing, tweak and play with it and learn and say, oh, let me see if I can do this. And that's what this is about, is learning from other people and making it better and bigger. We've been going for an hour and a half or 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna go through the line. Let any of you guys finish up with what you got to say, so that I can let you guys go to bed, especially you guys that are maybe in Europe. Mr. Buccino.
Happy to come to your channel. After 3 weeks was the last one, or maybe a month. Every time is a pleasure to be here. You are the most kind person in the community, and you are not a dev.
No,
not a developer.
No, he's not.
You have nothing to do with addons, but you are here to help everyone.
And I'll be the first to say I'm not a developer. I understand a little bit, but
And you know what? I'm sorry, but he's taken. You can suck up all you want. And have him.
No, I have to say that you are awesome. Okay. And let's see, next week we will have Twilight talk about the League Snappy and what he thought about the community and all this stuff. He's an individual developer. Okay. So big hi for me to everyone. Have a nice, good night.
You too, honey.
And I will try to how to say that. Let me help me. to give more time to the community.
You're doing very good with your English.
No. I need to read again. Open the book.
Only 4 languages. I don't know why you're so lazy. Only 4 languages.
Bastard, get on that English shit.
Down to 4 languages. I got 1 or 2, English and redneck. I got those 2. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Spanish are awesome too.
Let's see, Muad.
I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. You know me, I always got my little things that I'm working on, but I'm going to keep working on them. But here in the very near future, going to be coming out with some more templates, probably videos, chat for content scraping. And I word it that way because if you're familiar with my work in general, you know I've done more than just scrapers for the different systems out there. I've also done complete content scrapers like Bugs has with the release BB, where everything gets pulled from the site. And I'm going to try to get that going. There's an individual that's already in a chat with me that helps me out now with the project I got, that's learned from my previous videos and templates. And best way to put it is he's picking up speed and kicking ass. The only way to put it. Nice. And it's got me wanting to do more of them. Come out with, and I'm wanting to concentrate more on the content side. And the main reason is because once you have that down, the rest just falls into place. And with content, you don't have to worry about the strength, about being able to pull links or the player side right off the bat. You can take that on, after you have the other bases down, and that's kind of why I'm going that route. And that will actually let people jump in more on the add-on development without the need for as much of a base for a fork, or being able to do even more with something they do fork or spoon. I prefer the term spoon. So if they spoon an add-on, they'll be able to do more with it.
I like spooning. I like the. Well, that's another subject. That goes back to the triple exodus. All right. Thanks, Moat. What about Nimsy? What do you got to finish up with?
Well, you kind of ruined my plans for tonight. I downloaded a film ready to watch, and I'm not ended up watching it. It's midnight now. So.
Oh, way to go, dude! You came here with us instead.
Yeah.
Who's a dumbass? Come on now.
No, I mean it's been good. You know what I think of you anyway. Butcher is obviously a YouTuber. You're not in it for your own. You're not in it for your own personal gain. You're one of the ones that are actually helpful and does his research before he starts promoting shit left, right, and center. So apart from that, one of the guys in the Stream Army teams just let me know that all the MLB games are up in Nemesis AIO at the moment. Again, something I don't watch, so I don't monitor it. But he's also now sent me a website that he needs help cracking. So there was me thinking I was going to bed. I'm going to help him. I'm going to help him quickly take a look at this website. It's been good. Just be careful of, like I said, what we touched on earlier, what repos you're installing. Maybe do a bit of research. Because you have bad repos on your device, you're just leaving yourself open to have your pants pulled down.
Yeah, you're right. Well, thanks for a couple things. Thank you for sending the message to me, because like I said, I actually had no idea about that add-on repo, and hopefully that gets sorted out soon. Hopefully the developer of that, or the owner of that repo, really thinks about what he's putting on there. It's not good for everybody. And I will say this about Kodi apps, and people think, well, it's the number 2 or number 3 app on the group, and that it must be great. It's all about when the way that the traffic runs on that. As new add-ons go on there, they'll always race to the top because people want to click it, find out information, and it counts it as being more popular. And it's a lot of times it's just new. So people have never heard of an add-on, they click on it to read about it. That moves it up the list really quick. You'll find a lot of times after a week or two, an add-on will race to the top of the first week, and then all of a sudden you see it drop way down, and that's why it's counting the clicks of people reading about it. And as time goes, less people are reading about it because they're clicking on something else that's new. So don't always think, oh, it's the top of the list, it's got to be the best. No, that's not how that website works. It could just be new, and new it's always flashy and new, and everybody wants what's new. That doesn't always make it better. So
just means she's popular.
Yeah, and but Miss Blue, what you got to finish up with, huh?
Well, I just want to say, Nemzi, thank you for the kind words about me. I really appreciate that. Exactly. I just want to say your English is fucking fantastic. So thank you for that. And Muad, thank you for just being, you.
Boobs.
Exactly. Thank you for proving my point. That's it, honey.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for everyone being on. And I mean, when you guys come on to the show, it's not, it's not, hey, Todd, thanks for your greatness. I am not a developer. Do I have an understanding about how some of it works? I have an understanding of how it works. I tried to explain it in a way that a layman might understand it better. So I try to dummy it down, and that's not slamming on anybody that watches. I try to dummy it down in my head so that I understand it better, so that maybe I can explain it to others, so that they understand how the whole dynamics works. So I enjoy it. I enjoy the show. I enjoy the good times we have on here. It's fun. Thank you, Buccino, and I thank Twilight. I'll get in touch with him this week to look forward to having him on the show next week.
Wait, can I make one comment?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking forward to meeting Twilight too to find out how he's dealing with the sunshine.
another
Sparkling.
movie reference. So she's gonna get all of her movie references.
I'm gonna bug the shit out of him. It's gonna be
for
fun.
next week. So I look forward to hearing. But again, I don't know anything about that service. It just come out that I'd seen. Now maybe it's been out and it just weren't promoted.
Yes, it's more expensive than real debris for sure.
Yes. And I thought off the top of my head, if I remember reading, like $56 for 6 months. And I could be a little bit off on that. There was a coupon, but if you follow Jake Third,
it's more premiumized. It's more premiumized, as you said.
Yeah, it had more services, clouds. It had a terabyte of cloud space,
and also Twilight will explain it more, but has more hosters that real debris don't support. For example, NitroFlare and Upload Gig.
And I want to say that off the top of my head again, what's it? Rapid Gator or Rapid Share, and there's those ones that are those big ones, and Real Debris only supports like one of those. And
exactly.
I saw they had
Real Debris supports Replicator and doesn't support NitroFlare.
NitroFlare. All right. Yeah. So that's
and the reason why I know that is because the Release BB website and Addon, the links that provides most, they are Upload Gig, NitroFlare, and Replicator. The two first, they don't work for Real Debris.
Okay. Yeah. And like I said, when I went to the website and I just looked at, I think it was just yesterday I looked at the website because I saw the Twitter, the tweet about it. So I look forward to learning about it. Again, I don't know everything, and so I enjoy having people on that I actually learning about Nemesis Plex, learning about he's got a new project, and I look forward to that. And check out these different people's add-ons projects. Will they all fit everybody? No, but you may find that what somebody has fits your exact taste and your needs, and check them out. That's why not every add-on's made for everybody. It's all what works for you. And
if that doesn't interest you, Blue's boob job video, that's available as well.
Yeah, because it's all about the boob. It's all about the
I did have a couple people saying that. Did you mention Supremacy at all tonight? You know what? I was thinking about Hunger Games, and you know how like when people died on Hunger Games, and they'd have like those things in the sky and a flash cannon. I'm thinking maybe on the show, at the end of the show, we should pay tribute to add-ons who are here and now are gone.
That is such a great idea. And at the end, you can have like an a rest in peace, and a little icon come up.
Yeah.
Or what was it? The Running Man had that too.
Probably
like somebody died, and it would like have.
Yeah, they totally did.
Or it gray out. You see the picture would gray out. Like my Big Brother, when someone's kicked out, it grays out their picture.
Yeah.
What if we had like you get like Kodi apps? You got the Kodi apps picture, and all of a sudden you see this little gray out of an icon. And I'm not trying to make light of it. We're just be having fun. But that'd be kind of funny.
And now those are gone.
Yeah, a memorial.
It'll be like the movie, what was that movie? Condemned. Every time one of the convicts got killed.
Yeah.
X them out on the panel.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Blue, get on that. You said you're a Photoshop pro. Get on it.
I'm all over it.
Get on it. So I look forward to that. It'll be funny. But yeah, hats off. I'll finish up. Hats off. Thanks to Supremacy. Thanks to Dark Child for the work that they had done through the times, and they've decided to retire. Thanks for that, because of all the time you put into it.
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody in Telegram groups, and they're like, "Oh my God, Supremacy's down. What happened? Does it really matter? It doesn't really matter."
Yeah.
The fact is, they had to go, whether it's letters or the wife was going to divorce them if they didn't. It doesn't really matter. They're gone. Maybe they'll be back. Maybe they won't. But let it go. Like don't be bugging, and don't be bugging them, especially about, hey, dude, what's going on? What happened? It's none of your business. They decided to go. It's none of your business.
If it was any of your business, you'd have knew before they posted it.
They would have told you.
So yeah, it's moving. So thanks to the guys that create that. I want to thank all the guys that are in the community that are here that are doing stuff, that are actually doing their little parts, because it's not any one person that's holding this all together. It's everybody doing little bits and little pieces, a little of this, a little of that. You know, I think of, you know, Resolve URL having its part, and people creating scrapers doing their part, and people that are having these plugins, all these little different things that everybody's doing, and it all comes together so that we're able to get what we want.
It's a lovely little ecosystem.
It is. And just because one piece goes doesn't mean the whole animal dies.
Yeah.
It'll just it evolves. So thanks everyone for watching. I posted I had people asking about the Destiny chat because someone said it's not in the Eggman's repo anymore. I have no idea. I don't talk to Eggman, so I don't know. If you want it, you can get it from the Destiny Telegram chat, and then you can get it and install it that way. So again, check you guys out next Friday. We'll have Twilight. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer those questions. If you'd like to be on the panel, I'm open for people to be on the panel. I don't have a closed group. I'm welcome anybody that'd like to be on the group.
I'm going to have lots of questions.
Huh?
I'm going to have lots of questions for Twilight.
I'm sure you will. So
be ready.
So thanks. But hey, thanks y'all. And I will see you around, because streaming matters to us, because streaming matters to you.